29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22. 21.
20.
19.
18.
17.
16.
15.
14.
13. 12.
11.
10.
8.
6.
6. What happened to 7?
7.
5.
4.
3.
2. 1.
0.
I'm working on it. Working on it. Oh, shit. There we go. Happy Friday, guys. Something is coming real fast. So to start this off, I thought I would show you something that makes me really happy. Holidays, by the way. Did you see my ho ho ho? Yeah, they're garden hose. Chrome tab. That's where we be at. $99.98. That's where we're at. I just can't figure out why I can't get more than 14 people here to open up a live feed. You guys want to see why Ferrum Forge knife works? I told you guys, okay, I told you that this is something that I was going to show you guys sometime. Elliot over at Ferrum Forge Knife Works, every one of his flipper tabs is designed for this. Best goddamn bottle opener I've ever had. It's a flipper tab on a Ferrum Forge knife. It doesn't just pop them off. They fly. I've seen them pop one into the ceiling hard enough it left a mark. Best glowing recommendation I could ever give to a knife. Ooh, one of you guys are jerks. I don't know which one of you guys. So you guys think that's funny, but here's the thing. I know you're going to resubscribe, so it doesn't even bother me. So you may as well just stop doing it. Because see, that's what I'm saying. You may as well just stop doing that because it doesn't do anything. I mean, if anything, you can do it all you want. It gives the channel more interactions. But it does screw with things in the algorithm because up and down, up and down, up and down. It was me. So it's Friday, guys. I did not get everything set up in time. I was busy doing a couple things here around the house. I forget how much my wife does. And trying to do a Friday live feed and get things done and do laundry and have laundry done and pull laundry out from the thing. I'm not at, am I at 10K? Oh, I'm still at, oh boy, guys, hang on. Damn it, I should have left it up. We missed it. Hang on. I wish I could do fireworks. I wish I could do fireworks, but it's a lot of bell. It's a lot of bell. Holy crap, we hit 10K. We hit 10K plus one. Holy crap.
If I was any happier, I'd shit my pants. Oh, fuck it, I'll do it anyway. All done.
So, well, then, hell, fuck it. I had a beer. Happy Friday. I had other things planned. I think more cowbell. No, cowbells aren't free. Well, I didn't do a freebie. I have not done free cowbell yet. Aiden says, "Where my cowbell at? Hey, Mike and fellas." So $20. Thanks for the 20 bones, brother. That's a big one. I don't get the big donations very often. I was watching Tim Pool earlier. He had guests on. He had Sarah, I can't think of her name. Gorgeous woman. She's really, really intelligent, smart to listen to, owns a makeup company. Just drop dead gorgeous, but intelligent. I was watching that, and I was watching the super chats that popped up on Tim Pool, and I was like, is that $300? And I saw it, and then right behind it, I saw $100, $58, or $50, and then $20 and $20 and $20, and then $100. And I was like, I wonder what that feels like. I wonder what that feels like to be Tim Pool. I wonder if that's daunting. So here's a Corona for y'all. You know what? Because of that, I may actually take tomorrow off. I was thinking about it. I was going to take Josh Worth. Congratulations on 10K. Thank you very much. Yeah, we hit 10K and over. So you know what that means now. I got to figure out how I'm going to block up. I'm going to ask Nico. I think 2A Dave is coming over on Sunday. If he comes over, if not, I think Tino and I are good. I just want to sit down and I want to do this in a logical fashion. And I want to do it so that the prize packs are as close to even in price as possible. I think that's the only fair way to do it. Thank you, Mr. Worth, Mr. Josh Worth. I got a gift from a friend of mine. He sent me for Christmas, sent me a check for $1,300. Let me get, you know what? I still didn't set up yet. What the fuck is that? Guys, my dog has been gone for over a month, and I have vacuumed and mopped several times since my wife and kid left. And I still am finding balls. I even swept. I swept the garage. I sweep the garage and mop it for the studio, just because I don't want dust and everything. I've got the carpet out here. It helps keep the sound down, and it's comfortable to sit. And I can I'm like in my socks, and I'm comfortable out here in the studio. I keep like finding like random like tumbleweed bundles. I even moved the couch and swept under the couch. I swept everything out here. Still, the dog has passed away, has been gone for well over a month, and still dog hair everywhere. And it's not the cat hair. I definitely recognize it as the dog hair. In the hallway upstairs, I'm like, what in the actual fuck? Oh, hey, I missed one. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if I'm in the mood now to look at stuff on sale for Christmas, stuff I can't afford. So, let's get this. I'm trying to get my mouse set up in a fashion where it's not like all jacked up. I have a cutting board with a cutting board with a mouse pad on it that I use out here. That's where we're at with this. Let's see here. Chipmunk. Okay.
This is what you want for your bell? You want chipmunk bell? Okay, hang on. Thank you for the $14.99. It's always weird when it does that.
Shut up and get to the stuff.
Jesus, you two, calm the fuck down. I doubt if this one's going to be monetized. I'm in a really good mood now. And you know what else I have? I may get into the Giggle Grass. We may celebrate. I have within reach. I have something that is a distribution point for Giggle Grass. Sounds like Ricky's Ohio cousin. You got a bunch of them there. Aiden. You mean Rocky from what was it? Bullwinkle, Rocky and Bullwinkle. That's what I want to do tonight. I want to find old Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoons and watch them. So I do have, I just want to keep looking at that. I don't want to change it. Ricky and the Boss. Oh, Ricky and the Boss. Yeah, I like Ricky and the Boss. Before I deleted TikTok off my device because, well, they don't need that much fucking information. Have you ever read the terms and service for TikTok? Have you? I watched Joe Rogan's thing about it, and he talked about it. He's like, all the stuff that they take. And I'm like, I mean, I know it's funny, but holy shit. Like, they know everything you fucking type. And that's not me being paranoid. I mean, just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean that someone's not watching me. It's true. Rick Kastner. Not sticking around tonight, but wanted to at least hit the like button. Yeah, guys, I don't. I'm gonna try and remember to hound on this. You've got to hit the like button on videos. Like, I want you to do it on all videos, but if you can't do it on everybody on everybody's videos, fuck it, do them on mine. Because the fact is, that's how you help channels get up the algorithm. So, we're gonna stop this screen. And so we're going to talk about, so there are companies, there's a couple places. Let's see, Wednesday we looked at knifecenter.com to see what was on sale. Tonight, we're going to look at Blade HQ. So if you guys are looking for that thing that Jim put up where I was giving away, like I hit 10,000, so I'm giving away the stuff. I'm not giving anything away tonight. I'm going to do it in a fashion. I'm going to do it in a fashion that makes sense. So what's going to wind up happening is there will be an announcement for the giveaway. Hopefully in the future, sometime soon. But what we have to do is I'm going to put all the prizes into prize packs that are evenly priced. That way I'm not sending out like 15 things individually, and some of them would be very cheap. Some of those knives are not great knives. They're like Cutlery Corner Network and some other things. So we're going to break them up into prize packs with stickers and beads and stuff. And I'll see how many I've got. Aiden, I don't care how much money you donate. That's disgusting. Feet are disgusting. You don't need to talk about that. So, yeah, we'll absolutely get that all figured out. I'll try to get it figured out this week. And if Dave comes down, I think Dave and I can probably get it figured out. I want to look at retail value on all the stuff and price it out and figure if I can get how closely I can get them tied up. I want to ask, how's the microphone? Because I moved the microphone a little further away. I moved it a little bit further away because it's just, well, I wanted to be able to stretch my legs out. So if the audio is not as good as usual, let me know.
And I won't do anything because I really don't fucking care. Because I'm comfortable.
Well, that's not nice. That is not nice. That is not nice. The woo of the week is gonna stay here because I'm just curious how much longer it's going to do well. I've been messing around with the woo of the week in the tricolor frostwood. I was going to say Richlite, but it's not Richlite. It's plywood. It's just stained and dyed plywood. But the woo of the week is going to be here because it's kind of grown on me. Out of all the stuff that we got from Cutlery Corner Network, that was the unicorn. That's actually a decent knife. 2A Dave, if he shows up, can tell you. So, Aiden, here's your bell. Let's see. Aiden, since Aiden donates all the time, Aiden's going to get some special bell. Aiden's going to get auto-tune bell. That sounds weird. Oh, wow. That was interesting. Oh, Rocky, suck it And love to you from at Chef Rocky CK. Hey y'all, I actually forgot you could do this. I should tell jokes like this. And it even comes in different notes. Okay. I need to leave it be, or I'm gonna fuck up this whole episode of the live show. Holy cow! Like I said, where are we at? Are we still at 10K? Still at 10. I'm here. What I miss? You missed me auto-tuning a bell. If you want to hear me auto-tune a bell, you got to drop at least auto-tune bell. Auto-tune bell is $20 and higher. From now on, that's what it is. If you want to hear auto-tune bell, well, at least for a little bit, because I forget about it, so it doesn't get used very often. That's very special. That has to be reserved for very special occasions. $20 and higher. $20 and higher, I'll get you auto-tune bell, because it's kind of a pain in the ass. I wonder what kind of holiday says. Yeah, okay. I'm going to ask right now. Would we rather look at actual honest to goodness stocking stuffers and gifts under $50 at Blade HQ, where I have actually, we're going to do it because I have an affiliate link there. So affiliate links, we'll do Bud Kate. We've got time for more live feeds. We got time for more live feeds before Christmas. We will do a Bud K. We'll do a Bud K Christmas special. I'll come up with a catchy thumbnail for it, and we'll do Bud K. It will probably be that flamethrower somehow incorporated into a Christmas setting. I believe I have put beads in my beard, but I've never braided my beard. You don't have to braid your beard to put beads in. I simply got it all twisted and then slid it up on and then left it. We're not braiding anything. Ever. Go braid your ass hair. Motherfucker. So let's share a screen. Bring up the Chrome tab. This is the 2022 holiday. So what do we want to look at? And I keep forgetting to change that back to that. And I forgot something. I absolutely forgot something I owe to you guys. We need to do this. I'm sorry I forgot. We have to talk about it. But I absolutely forgot to give you the cat.
They call me Cuba Pete. I'm the king of a rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom. Yeah.
Forgot the cat. My bad. Forgot. Yeah, I think we should look at gifts. You want to look at gifts 50 and under? What do you guys think? Not braiding shit, especially not your ass hair. You fucking weirdo. Where's Addicted to Blades? Have no idea. We need to watch The Mask again, bro. I never watched The Mask. Anyway, let's go ahead. We're gonna go. What do you want to? Do you want to look at gifts under 50? It's a good. I have a very hairy ass as well. I say we do gifts under 50 since no one's going to answer me. We'll just look at it. They have engraving options. Yeah, this is the highball frame lock 20. Ooh, wow. That's definitely on sale. 26 from 75. I know it's MSRP, but I would say that that's probably quite the discount. Oh, pardon me. It's quite the discount they got over there at at Blade HQ. If you're looking for this, my Blade HQ affiliate link is down below. It takes you to their main page. Any shopping you do from there absolutely would be appreciated on the channel. Appreciated. APRICK shiated. Y'all know what I meant. So yeah, that is not a bad looking knife coming from Kershaw. I'm usually not a fan of Kershaw. I find their stuff to be unappealing most of the time, but that's not a bad looking knife. I don't dislike that. CRKT CEO. That looks, you know what that looks a lot like? That looks like a large flippered version of that itty bitty knife that I had. What am I drinking? Well, since I imagine tonight's video is going to be demonetized because I'm going to talk about. Oh, I know where that hair came from. My bottle koozie. Okay, I know where the dog hair is coming from now. My bottle koozie slid up underneath the butcher block table where I have not swept yet, the one right next to my workbench. But I'm drinking Corona Familiar, which is very, very good. That's where all that lint came from. Now I see where all that cat or that dog hair came from. Yeah, that looks like that Kaizen that I have here at the house. It's not a bad knife. A Kaizen's not a bad one. It's a lot of fun because it's just a fun little stick it in your front pocket of your shirt kind of knife. No, not only is it dumb, it's also ugly. Like, why can't they? Okay. Can I ask you a question? Look at the plunge on that. What is it with Spyderco and not being able to do a decent plunge? What in the actual fuck is that? How? I don't get it. I just don't understand how a company that popular can get things wrong so often. Kershaw cryo. I did not dislike the cryo except the fact it was assisted. The Burnley squid. I like some of the Burnley designs. I think that Burnley was one of the people that has really done some things that got Boker back on track. I know this is CRKT, but we're talking about something. Oh, I bet this is hideous. Baron Sons. Yeah, this is like that. You guys see that? Look at, why is there so much space? Why is there so much space here? Why? There's not a reason. Look how bad that is. Like, that is, I know they're only $42, but even at $42, that is really not good. What the? I mean, that's like everything I saw about that. That's bad. And that's $42. Now it's $42 and it's American made. So you're a beehole collector. I only got one. How many do you need? Not bad. Today's actually doing really good, you guys. I'm telling you, like, like I said, that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. I'm currently above 10,000. So Dave, there you are. Hey, Dave, if you come down Sunday, we're going to have to lay out the, we are going to have to lay out the prize packs. So if you come down on Sunday, we're gonna go through all the stuff that's laid out for the giveaway. There's a couple other things that if it's not even, I have some stuff set aside that could be added in, just to try and even things out to make like some of the knives are more expensive, so the prize packs might have less in them. So, but yeah, we're gonna get that figured out, and then there'll be a giveaway. I mean, I could do it on my own. I just thought it would make more sense to have somebody with eyes on it with me. And I'll tell you guys, I think I told you guys, I pickled a bunch of onions and gochujang hot chili paste. I've been eating them on everything. They were on every item of my supper tonight, including my bowl of rice. So I had a hot dog, a bowl of rice, and a salad. And there was hot pickled onions on, spicy pickled onions on everything. Not that I'm complaining. They are delicious. However, every time I burp, it tastes like diesel fuel smells. I'm not going to complain too much. Woohoo! Another. Okay, what kind of bells should we do here? Should we do convention center? I'd like to bring our next speaker to the stage, and that's Bluminati Ninja's bell. B32. It's got me burping gasoline. If I burped in front of a flame, I would be in trouble. So yeah, like I said, thank you very much for the 5 bones there, Bluminati Ninja. Let's see, scroll down here. So yeah, that's bad. That's not good. I don't like that. CRK limited I like the original Pilar. I don't like the new ones. I don't like the Pilar 2 or 3. I don't know what it is about them that I don't like. I think it's because they're more drop pointy. They're a lot more of a drop point style than the original ones were. My only problem with these Kershaws are the assisted opening. Like, why? Assisted opening is horrible. It's on sale. You know why it's on sale for $24, down from $65? Because no one wants a goddamn assisted opening knife. No one. Here you go. Here's a better option. Kershaw Link. I've actually handled these. They are a really comfortable knife. It's not a knife I would buy, but they are very comfortable in hand. But my speed. Just stop. Just stop. Robert with the 2 bones. Robert, once again, you can type comments in with those. Like when you drop in the amount, there's a thing where you can type your message on it. That's why you see that little bubble. See that little bubble on the thing underneath that? You can drop a comment in there. Weekend off. I may actually, I don't know. I haven't decided. I have stuff I should film. But I think, nope. I'll show you guys. I'll tell you guys what. I posted something up and it's very apt. I'm going to send it to my computer so that you guys can see it. And this is how I've been kind of living my life lately. So I don't necessarily want to film 7 days a week or 6 days a week or any of that stuff. But I have to do this. I have to look at it like this. And I saw this, and this is the most accurate thing I've seen in a long time. And it's this, because it's 100% accurate. This is what people don't realize. Everybody just thinks that just because you're motivated, things are going to happen. It's not. Motivation turns on your discipline. Discipline, you're going to fucking do it. So I hear you go, come on, keep going. That's right. I'll do it. No. Motivation turns the switch on discipline, and discipline says you will do it. I really don't have much of another option right now. That's what I got. I got to make this work. I'm basically at that point where there's a lot of people talk about the TED Talk about burn your boats. I've left myself really no other option than to make this work. And I'm really trying, guys. I'm trying. So, with that being said, I'd appreciate it if all of you use my affiliate links. But yeah, this Kershaw leak's not bad. And you're looking at $49. $49 is not a bad price for a fairly okay knife. I got to move this microphone a little bit so it's more square on. That way my voice does not fluctuate. That's not horrible. I've definitely seen worse knives. What'd Lacey say? I don't see anything. Assisted knives are easy out of... Yeah, assisted knives are for knives that companies that can't make flipper knives because they can't make their knives work. I got to prioritize this device again. I don't think I got it prioritized because it's telling me that I'm on low Wi-Fi. I've not got adequate signal. It's giving me the warning that it's going to kick me off here in a second. So, what else we got? See, this is the one, the original. I liked this one. No. I liked this knife. I didn't have a problem with this knife at all. Yeah, I never had a problem with this knife. And it's not bad, and at a price point. What do they got it priced at? It is $44. That is not a bad price. I liked that knife. I remember when the Gen 1 came out, somebody sent it to me for sharpening. I absolutely enjoyed having it here. And it was a little thick, but even though I was able to lay back the angle on it, and it came out pretty good. I don't like this Natrix. I don't like the full copper Natrix. I don't like this Natrix. I don't like the Natrix in I mean, just period. I don't like it at all. Even at $26, I still don't like it. Look at that. Look at that plunge. Look at that. Look how, I mean, that is, I would like to point out, that's the one they took a picture of. Like, that's the one. Oh, Jesus. That's the one that had the best look to it. That's the one that they took the picture of for the ad. And look at how bad that plunge grind is on it. It's bad. Yeah, Lacey, I don't disagree with you. I hate them as well. I've never liked assisted opening. I had one. I thought they would be cool, and I got one. I got a Kershaw Blur as a gift, and I was like, oh, it's cool. It's kind of like the Otto's cousin. And then the longer I had it, the more I realized that it's not. I just didn't like it. But it was something. It was something that somebody gave me as a gift. It was okay knife, and then I mean, it got stolen at work. This I don't like. This Burnley design right here, I don't like. I've seen a couple of these. I've sharpened one. I didn't like it. Blade material is just listed as stainless steel. It does not have a specific steel in it. And people are like, well, you know, not non-Blade HQ. No, it just says stainless, which I find suspect. So, not a fan of those. Spider Coefficient. It's not a horrible knife. I've handled a couple of them. This was my first flipper knife. This was the, mine was in titanium though. I had the M16T. I had the M16T, looked just like this. And that was my first flipper knife. I had that in, Jesus, when did I get that? 2003 in Hong Kong at a knife shop in Hong Kong. And it was I'm not gonna lie, it was a good knife. It was the first flipper knife I ever had. It was a Kit Carson design. Mine was a double-edged. It wasn't chisel ground, and it was a good little knife. And then I took it apart and I polished up the scales, and then I heat colored them. These I don't want to use. There's a word I want to use. It's a no word on YouTube. It's an R word. It's a no word on YouTube, but it begins with re and then ends in tarded. I can get away with doing it that way. I don't like that at all. I think these things are stupid. Like I've handled them. It's not that I was like, oh, you've just never handled one. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have. I just don't like them. I don't like a lot of CRKT knives. Trainers, Bit Driver, Tool Roll, another of the CEOs. Let's see what we got here. Okay, no. I don't. Why? Why would you take a perfectly good knife? That is I don't like that at all. I mean, it would have been an okay knife without that, without those ridiculous serrations on them. 1980, 1989, 1990 called. They want their half and half blades back. 92, 93 was the first time I started seeing the half serrated blades. And then they were all the way up until like 98, like almost every one of the knives that you could get. Every one of the knives that you could get, they were all half and half. Like you could not get just a plain edge knife for a few years. Best serrations are nasty. I don't like them. I don't like them. I'm like, why? Mr. Pote, I granted you access to all the chat rooms in the members server. Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I like the knife. It would be better if it didn't look like somebody took a bite out of it. Let's see here. See this? I don't mind this. This Gerber Zilch and Chunk multi-tool combo at $29. That's not a bad looking knife coming out of Gerber. I'm pretty sure it's going to feel like, I'm pretty sure that when you grab a hold of it, it's going to feel like an abortion, but I told you guys, this is probably going to be a demonetized live feed. So with that being said, feel free to drop a super chat because I'm pretty sure I'm in a really good mood and I'm pretty sure I'm going to say things that are inappropriate. Plus I got into the giggle grass before I even started. Yeah, that's not a bad looking blade on that. It looks like it's relatively slicey. It might be ground okay. I don't know. Let's see. Is there a better side profile of this? I don't even hate that. It doesn't look like it's real thick blade stock. I would hazard to guess that it comes down fairly thin behind the edge. Like for if you're looking for just a crappy throw it in a pack and forget you've got it, or in a glove box as a work knife. Assisted opening. No. What is this? This reminds me of something. This reminds me of something, and I can't remember what it is. I can't remember what it is. CRKT has the best drivers in the ever Nojo. What drivers? What drivers? I don't know which. Are you talking like bit drivers? I'd have to look into it. I usually. Is carbon steel better than stainless? Depends on whether you're going to keep it in your pocket or if you're keeping it in a backpack in a sheath. I would not carry a carbon steel knife in my pocket. I can barely carry some stainless steels in my pocket without making them rust. You know what we ought to do? We've never done this. How loud can let me turn this down. Is there any? How loud is that? That's not too loud, right? We got some background music. Oh, so they're bit drivers? That's what I thought you meant. I like the Fellows. Yes, it's pretty good at sharpening. It's pretty easy to sharpen. It keeps its edge pretty well. But like I said, carbon steel rusts if you look at it wrong. If you touch carbon steel, you're gonna leave fingerprints on it. That's like, I would not put it in my pocket as a folding knife ever. I barely have any shit. I almost screwed up. Back to here. I don't dislike that. Okay, back to this knife. What is it that this reminds me of, guys? This looks like something I should know and I can't remember. I would put Christmas music on, but most of the Christmas music is absolutely copyrighted. What is this? The Deadbolt light. Okay, so these Deadbolt locks have absolutely come down in price. I remember the first time I saw a Deadbolt, Nick Shabazz had one, and he handed it to me. It was a great big one, and it was like $600 fucking dollars, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna pay that much for a CRKT. But then I played with the lock on it, and I was like, actually, that's pretty cool. I'm still not gonna pay $600 for a CRKT. Petrified Fish magazine liner lock, blue G10. That's not a bad looking knife. I will tell you that Terra has been in my pocket a couple hours a day since I did the first impressions, and it's a good knife. No, stone washing will make it rust more. With acid stone washing, never. Okay. So, Greg, are you kind of new to the knife stuff? Because I will tell you, anytime that you put a knife in acid and agitate it, doesn't matter. Anytime you put a knife in acid, you have started a chemical reaction that does not stop. You have now opened, the acid will open the pores of that steel. The purpose of stone washing actually closes the pores of the steel and makes it a little more resilient to rust. If you add acid to that, you're not doing anything. You've now opened those pores. You have more surface area. And if it's a rust, no, absolutely disagree. Stonewash, yes. Acid, no. Acid will open the pores. You add acid to aluminum to open it up, bring a layer of aluminum oxide to the surface so you can color it. You don't want to add acid to any steel unless you're etching it for a specific purpose. But to say it's going to prevent rust, absolutely not. It'll make it worse. I disagree. So, like, if you're asking, you're getting the wrong answer. I'm telling you right now, adding acid to a stonewash defeats any purpose with stonewash. The reason that Chris Reeve knives blades were initially tumbled and stonewashed is because it smooths out all those little areas and it actually closes the surface of the steel more and allows it to prevent rust, and it's a lot frictionless. If you add acid to it, it's like bead blasting. You've now opened up the pores. You've removed some of the material. So how do you become a subscriber? You're a subscriber. You're here. You're commenting. So I'm scrolling down. A carbon op now. Okay, so carbon steel is going to patina a little bit. If you want to prevent rust on a carbon steel Opnel, your best bet is to get some Renaissance wax. Put some Renaissance wax on it. That is one of the best things you can do. Renaissance wax, it smells like shoe polish. You put it on, you wipe it down, you give it a good polish. It stays on the steel. It prevents. It gives it a wax layer. So yeah, you could oil it, but Ren wax is going to work way better and last way longer. Okay. Let's go ahead and get back to, I just didn't want you to because as much as I enjoy people commenting and things and doing stuff, I have to jump on anything that's incorrect. Like a lot of people have that, well, stonewash, that's why Chris Reef does it, because it seals off the steel and it prevents a little bit. It seals some of the pores in the steel and knocks them shut, and it smooths that out. Like that way it's not bead blasted, that way it's not exposed. If you add acid to it, you have completely defeated the purpose of a stonewash. Plus, it's fucking hideous. They are ugly. Yeah, Ren wax. Ren wax is great on anything that would possibly rust. Ooh, look where we're at. Oh, hey, Honey Bear. Thanks for the 5 bones, Honey Bear. Honey Bear 85. Congrats on 10K. Thank you, sir. Yeah, beeswax, but Ren wax is in Ren wax is like shoe polish. It's in a solvent base that evaporates off. So you put it on, you wipe it off, it evaporates off and just leaves the wax behind. Ren wax is great. It's a little easier. Let's see here. Let's get back to this, share this tab and say, yeah, that petrified fish is not a bad looking knife. It reminds me a little bit in the handle, not in the blade. I absolutely do know it looks way different in the blade, but the handle looks like the handle on the Arroyo, that Dirk Pinkerton Arroyo that came out. Was that Artisan or CRKT? I can't remember which. Yeah, I can't remember which it was. Okay, so, and like I said, that petrified fish that I have here is great. I don't like this. And I think it's because of the weird shape of the blade. I just don't like it. And then look at where the other thing too is, can you guys see that? Look at the grind. Here's another one with a complete and utter fucked up grind on it. Do you see where the actual grind starts? It's literally like, looks like 2 millimeters in from the plunge. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, Artisan Arroyo. Sorry about that. There's some onions. Beer and onions. Wow. I'm glad my wife's not here. Like, if I ate that, my wife would be like, Mike, you must be super pumped. Yes, absolutely. Ren wax, is it food safe? Yes, it's just beeswax. It's beeswax that's in like in a solvent base. People have used Ren wax for years on everything. But the whole thing is, like, how much are you actually using your pocket knife for food? Like, I know the things I use my pocket knife for, and whether or not the stuff that's on my knife is food safe, I would absolutely still wash it off before I ate anything with it, because I know what I do with my knife. You know, one time I was cutting dingleberries out of the neighbor's dog's tail, because he had gotten in, not dingleberries, but around the dingleberry area, around the dog's butthole, he'd gotten into those little burrs, those little Spanish needle things, the little burr pods in the yard, and just tons of them. We were cutting them out with my pocket knife. like I guarantee I'm gonna wash my knife off before I eat with it. So whether the stuff I put on my knife is food safe or not doesn't matter. It's gonna get washed off before I ever touch it to food. Not a chance. That's why I kept a case hobo in my lunchbox, because it had a knife and I would use that because that's the only thing I ever got used for was food. Let's see here. Let's get back to that is really bad. Hey, 5 Door Estate, another 5 bones. Congratulations. Yeah, guys. Like I said, I'll do auto-tune bell for anything above $20. Any donation above $20 gets auto-tune bell. And I'll give you guys a sample if you guys want to hear it. That is funny. That is funny. If it sounds as funny for you guys as it does for me, like, it's great. Thanks for the 5 bones there, 5 Door Estate. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead. Let's get back to this. Let's go back. Yeah, I don't like that knife. I like this. Oh, it's another petrified fish. I like that. Nice and thin. Good slender profile. I like that knife. I imagine that I would not be able to reverse flick that, though. That would be my problem. If it's not a flipper, I'm not going to be able to use that. I can tell right now by how close that is to the pivot. I probably, with my XXL glove hands, would not be able to flip that. All right, there you go. See, you're working your way into getting put in timeout again. Fucking around and I put myself in timeout. See how that worked? Sorry. Let me share a screen. Let's see here. Oh, let me get this delivery device turned on. This is what I'm getting demonetized. Yeah, that's a good looking knife. I just doubt if I'd be able to carry it. I just don't understand the price increase in Swiss Army knives. Like this. My daughter has the same one I got it for. It literally, I swear to God, it was $26 when I got it. What is this? I'm intrigued. What are these? Vault. Ooh. That's semi-hard-sided. Guys, I think that's a semi-hard-sided. That looks like a semi-hard-sided knife case. Get back and let me read that. Let's click on it and actually read it. Smooth carbon surface, Velcro panels for knife and storage items, compartments of elastic retention strap. What's the size on this? 7 inches by 5 inches by 2 inches. 7 long, 5 wide, 2 thick. I mean, I don't need that. That's cool looking. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were going over to a friend's house and you just had a couple knives to throw in your pocket that you wanted to take and show, that's not a bad looking. Can I show a pair of XXL gloves? No, I think they're still all locked away. XXL gloves are big. I mean, what do you want? Okay, case in point, my ring. Anybody here that has ever met me in person and shook hands with me can vouch for it. That was not me. That was not me. That was absolutely my computer. I got a little blinking thing, and I'm like, no. I was trying to get it. Yeah, I wouldn't need that case, but it's kind of cool. Like I have a case the size of. I have a case that holds eight rows, 4 rows of 8. 4 rows of 8. I gotta add that again. When it kicks me out, I lose whatever's being shared. Chrome tab. That's not a bad looking case though. Like if you just had a couple knives, you're gonna let somebody okay. Like me and Tino, we share knives back and forth all the time, and so he'd be like, "Hey, I've got some new stuff. Do you want me to bring it over?" And he puts them in a small hard side case and brings them over, like 2 or 3 or 4 knives at a time. Steel will. Oh, I'm going to say right now on record, I have not seen one of the steel will knives that I don't like yet. I'm not a fan of the color. Not a big fan of that color. But that's a good looking knife. That's a good looking blade shape. Yeah, I like that. How much is that? What are we looking at on price? I'm not buying anything because that my buddy paid me. My mama said I watched that. $29. That is not bad. You guys want a Zwilling steak dinner, 12-piece set in a wooden crate? No, thank you. I'm gonna tell you right now, guys. I will never buy a Zwilling or Heckles, a J.R. Heckles or a Zwilling. I'm not gonna buy them again. And I'll tell you, honest truth. Not because they sent me a bunch. I had seen a bunch of the Dahlstrom stuff. I'd gotten to handle them before I approached them to do sponsorship and get stuff from them because their stuff is great. I will never pay what they want for a Heckles or a J.R. Zwilling. They're made in the same fucking city in China, in the same steel as my Dahlstrom Gladiator series, and that is such a better knife. No joke, hands down, a better knife. I don't care. Like, if you don't believe me, go get one without using my affiliate link and test it. I'm telling you right now, it is a better chef's knife. Another Baron Sons 30th anniversary butterfly knife in silver. That's 4-inch. That's a better looking one. That's $104. That's why. That one we looked at before, where the plunge grab. What is that? Man, they're nice. That one that had the crazy high plunge on it. That was like $26. I thought this was just under $100. I thought that's what we were looking at. Gift ideas under $50, and they're showing that's $104. Guys, that's definitely what? Can you guys hear me? Okay, so you guys, did everyone lose me or just a couple people? Audio's cutting in and out. Okay. Yes, but sound is unstable sometimes. Okay, is sound unstable for everyone? Because I only saw a couple people saying about it. So let's check in. All 41 of you, make sure you've hit the like button. So let's test this. We have to make sure that we all go hit the like button, all 41 of us. And then everyone drop a comment letting me know you can hear me. Not here, in the comment tab. Been good for you. Okay, so it could be, let me point this out. It is Friday. It is Friday. And the fact is, depending on where you were at in the world, servers do go up and down. Audio is fading in and out. Okay. It's gotta be something, because not everyone's having problems. Okay, well, let's get back to, let me do something here. It could be, let's see if that changes anything. It could be the fact I'm running background music and have been. I may have audio solid, audio's good. Woohoo, congrats, Mike. Zorro, was this audio solid? It could be because, like I was saying, I was having internet issues. I'm just adding to the stream by sharing a screen, downloading stuff from, sharing the screen, and then playing music. It could have been that. It may have just reached a point where my internet was like, look, motherfucker, I can't take anymore. The $50 SE. We got a $50 SE up there? Let's see here. Oh, hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey now. The SE. Oh, that's not a bad looking knife at all. What is that? That's the SE what? Zancudo frame lock. Black G10 with a carbon fiber overlay. That's not a bad looking knife. Never mind. Well, I guess you can reverse it. Ooh, look how surprised he is. Look how surprised he is. Hey, Daniel, no problem, man. If you want, post up the website, the link to the pre-order on the Gilded server, since you're a paying member, and have one of the, because I know that some of my mods are in there and they can dump it over. Yeah, but I'm not. I think is that a steel? Now here's the thing. I'm not opposed to a steel liner lock, but I'd prefer not to have a steel liner lock, if you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Handle material. It's steel. It's a steel frame lock. So that's not a problem. That's not a problem. It's just going to make it a little heavier. What's the weight on that? 4 ounces. 4 ounces isn't horrible. So there you go. CJRB Feldspar. I was really tossed up because I had a bunch of stuff come in from CRKT and Artisan. Because while they're different companies and Artisan's an American company, CJRB is a Chinese company, they're such good friends, and they share the production house. So they have the same production line, even though they're separate companies. So it only makes sense. They have a guy that basically does double duty as their American rep. And so I got the CJRB Feldspar and I liked it, but I definitely wanted to do a giveaway. And so instead of giving away the Centros, I kept the Centros. They're very, very similar. I kept the Centros and I gave away the Feldspar. Another great, great knife. Robert says, here's something funny. My friend ran away. He's in oxygen. Still waiting for the funny thing. Eventually, it may pop up. Just because you're old, Robert, doesn't mean I'm going to stop. You don't get a free pass. I pick on everyone. Ooh, $43 for a Cold Steel drop forged Hunter. I'm curious because I really haven't been watching it. Have you guys been watching? I don't know. Did the Cold Steel knives go up in price? Because I hadn't really been watching. Oh, guys, we got to do something. My computer did. I was checking something in the background. We gotta do something here. Hang on. I'll show you what just happened. Okay, let me see here. You guys ready? Something happened when I logged, and I'm gonna have to I got fireworks. I got fireworks going off. Did you guys see that? Fireworks. Isn't that neat? Okay, let's get back to this. Share this tab instead. I had one of these, and they're not okay, I had one, and they didn't used to be horrible. I'm looking what about Finch? I like the Finch knives. The Finch knives 1942 and the Holiday are some very, very good knives. That's not funny. It's just let's see here. Yeah, Feldspar is a really good one. Yeah, I had one of these I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. They're like a good beater knife if you really, really need one, but like there's better ones out there. Let's see here. What else? Petrified Fish. Ooh, hey, here's another one. I'm not a big fan of the really swept blades, but that's got a cool look to it. Like there's its tail, there's its midsection and its belly, and there it is, and it's singing. No, it's that's a good look. That is a good looking knife. Even though I don't like that blade shape. I don't like the Persian style blade shapes as much. That's a good looking knife right there. I'll tell you what, I haven't seen them all, but I haven't seen a Petrified Fish yet that I didn't at least like the look of. I might be able to look at it or handle it and say, hey, it's not a knife for me, but they all have looked good so far. Page 3, there's another one of them. I like that even better. I like that handle material better. Let's see what else you got. Schrade Uncle Henry 3-piece fixed blade knife combo. But why are they all the same? Except why aren't they all the same? Or why isn't it a 4-piece set with 2 and then 1 different? Or 2 and 2 different? Why wouldn't you split it 50-50? Why are there 2 knives that are identical and 1 knife that has a gut hook? Somebody want to explain that one? There you go. Thank you, Chuck It. There is the pre-order. There's the pre-order. Yeah, why are there two knives that are the same and one that's different? Like, it would make more sense to have. That's just weird. That was me. That was me this time. Yeah, let's get back to that. Present, share screen, share screen, share screen, share screen. There we go. Yeah, I don't understand. Schrade does some weird stuff. Rugged wax foraging pouch. Okay, this is, I mean, like I said before, that's the best one. Look at that blade. Like, it flat-ish and then starts to sweep up. Why? Why can't you just fix your shit, Gerber? It's probably the same guy that designed the Sumo. You think it's ugly. I know you look at it, you realize it is ugly. But wait, that's not more. It's also really stiff and it's uncomfortable. What else could you want? I'm like, I don't think you understand how this knife design shit really works. I don't want to look at their exclusive pry rate. I want to finish looking at what we're looking at. Is that okay with you? I got an idea. How about you try not trying to decide what we do on my channel? I'm just kidding. I like Zoro. I fuck with Zoro all the time. He's one of my paying members that likes to try and hijack specific chat rooms and turn them into shit that they're not. Let me see here. What have I done? Why am I in narcissist mode? There we go. Yeah, it's fucking ugly. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. I almost did it again. I almost backed myself all the way out of the studio, and I was just gonna be like, you know what? I'm done. Kubi Doris liner lock. That's not a bad looking knife. That's not a bad looking knife at all. I like the Kubi knives too. Can I make the decisions on my channel, please, Zoro? Is that okay? Is that all right with you? Guys, I'm having a good time tonight. What is it, that James Brand thing? I shouldn't get into giggle grass when I do live feeds. I keep doing that to myself. Chuck it what? What'd Chuck it do? You think I'm ugly, but yet you keep me around. Oh, see, there you go. Chuck it and Zoro are in the chat room, in the chat, in the comment section. So let's share this again, and we'll go look at that James Brand thing. My eyes itch badly, and they squeak when they make noise when I blink. It's like a squeaking sound. Let's see. Yeah, I don't dislike that. James Brand. What the fuck is this? $49. What's it even do? Jesus Christ, James Brand. Hey, how about I make a shitty pin that doesn't even screw together, and you know that fucking thing's gonna be all wobbly and loose, and you can drop that and lose it? How about that? You know you're gonna walk through a doorway, and that shit's gonna come disconnected. You're gonna lose the outside casing of your pin, and then you just got a fucking guts of a fucking pin hanging around. I don't like James Brand's shit. He definitely. I think I don't know why everything he puts his name. That was not me this time. I got the little thing, and I was trying to see if I get it stopped. That one was not me. I'll take credit for it when I do it. James Brand. Let's get back to StreamYard. Present, share a screen. No, Zorro, that one wasn't me. The last couple had been, but that one was not me. Yeah, that's. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm trying to figure out why everything he puts his name on is so fucking expensive. Seriously? Is this actually okay? Hang on. Hang on. I don't hate that. I don't know why I don't hate that, even though the grind is fucked up at the tip and here at the heel, but the handles really look cool. And it's a friction folder, so it's not like it's like a Higo no Kami, and then it's got a well, I could live without. I don't give a fuck about the brush, and that's a combo. Wait a second now. Hang on now. Oh, it's out of stock. Only $31. You get a jukebox, pocket comb, a Sugar Skull Hank, and a valet case. Now, I will say, Blade Material 7 CR. I will say that valet is cool, and I like the Hank. I mean, they're out of stock. It's out of stock right now, but well, the Pyrite is out of stock. Pyrite is out of stock. If you're looking for a Pyrite, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving 2 of them away with the 10,000 sub. With the 10,000 sub giveaway. I have an all black one, and I have one of the prototypes with green G10. You can get all this Gerber trash for one low price of only. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of intriguing. I like that little Higo knife. That's not. Did I like the Pyrite? Yes, I did like the Pyrite. I personally, though, where I put it. I had it in my pocket, and then I took it out of my pocket to do something with it. I personally like the. Thought for sure I had it. I personally like the Lago better. It's because it's a little bit bigger and stuff. So, so you look at this Pyrite. Yeah, it's out of stock. It's just what was there. I'll make the decisions here if it's okay with you. Yeah, Pyrite's a really good knife. This is the one I'm giving away. Pardon me. I'm giving away this specific Pyrite and one with green G10 and a satin, which is a prototype, which was not one of the ones they released. It was not available. Discontinued. Petrified fish. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, I found the one I don't like. I found the petrified fish I don't like. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't like that. I don't know. I'd have to give it an honest decision. I'd have to get one in hand. I have this here. I have this exact knife here, and I'm trying really hard not to look at the price before yeah, there we go. I have this one here. And the cool thing about this, is these thumb studs are made out of micarta, which I think that's a really cool touch. Like, I've never seen that before. And Dave and I were looking at it. Like I said, I've tried to avoid seeing the price because it's one of the ones that's on my plate next to go in pocket because I did like it. I want to do a couple of knives I'm not so sure about. And that's, you guys want to hear something? You guys You want to hear how I do some stuff with the review stuff? So there's stuff that comes in that I don't like, right? There is absolutely stuff that comes in that I don't like at first. And it really, out of that, when you open the box and you're like, yeah, like the Sumo. But typically, if they're not horrible, I'll go ahead and I'll get them out and I'll put them in pocket and I'll look at them and I'm like, okay, I have to at least give them a fair shot. A lot of times, those are the videos that you hear, like first day out of pockets. It just sounds like ho hum, like the coach from Waterboy. And this is where they strip the ball. Yeah, that's what you get. Because a lot of times, that first day in pockets, those knives really don't speak to me. Like, I didn't like them unboxing. Like, I got them and I'm like, nah. And then I'll get one and I'll mess with it. And I'm like, all right, first day in pockets. I'm like, it's still not great. And then I'll carry it. And if it's just egregious, like the Sumo, I'll just do a video that day. And I'm like, this is the worst fucking knife I've seen in a very long time. From a well-known, I have Cutlery Corner Network knives that were better than that Gerber Sumo. But I do the knives I don't like. I'll do a couple of them, and then I'll pick one of the knives that I do like, and I'll throw it in as a reward for having done the other knives. I don't get paid by companies to do this stuff, but I definitely have to find a way to reward myself and convince myself and discipline myself into doing other things. There has to be some sort of payoff for reviewing a couple knives that are substandard. But every once in a while, you'll get one that I'll get it in and I'm like, I don't like this when I unbox it. And then I do the first day in pockets and I'm like, I still don't like this. And then I'll get it up on that shelf. There's a shelf for stuff that's getting ready to go in pocket and stuff that's already been in pocket. And that way I know where to pick from. And so I absolutely will get a knife every once in a while and I'll put it up on that shelf and I'll start putting it in a rotation. And after a few days of it, I'm like, you know what? All the things I said are very sound, but it does this really well. It does this really well. It does this really well. And it turns out that there's a lot of times that I'll have a knife in first day in pocket. You can kind of hear like the lackluster, like I'm not like over the moon with it. I'm just kind of underwhelmed. I'm like, meh, that's what you hear in those first days. And then there's some knives that after like 2 weeks of carry, bang, they're like, I was like, no, now I get it. Now I fucking get it. How's the shoulder? It hurts all the time. I got a new prescription for the Voltaren. Oh, I was telling Jared about this. That video, all that B-roll you guys saw, that wasn't like stuff that I shot just to be funny. I actually had already deleted it, and I went to the bin of stuff on my phone that typically would get like dumped off. And I was getting ready to delete everything. I was like, let me see it. And I was watching it. I was like, now that I had thought back on it, I was like, it's pretty funny. And so I went back and I watched it over again. And then I pulled the B-roll out and I was like, if it made me laugh, I was like, it's going in. What are my thoughts on Z-Max? I don't really have many. It's because you're a masochist. So yeah, let's go ahead. Get out of that. Go here. Yeah, that's a good looking knife. I like that knife a lot. And like I said, I know it's probably not all that expensive. I know that Petrified Fish has got a lot of the cheaper knives on the market, but that's really good looking. And then, like I said, look at those thumb studs. As Bees likes to say, just look at it. Look at it. Would you? Would you just look at it? Like, yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's a good looking knife. What else we got here? I'm trying not to look at the price. Here's another one of those SE Zancudos. It's in green, $34. That's not bad. Petrified Fish Warrior liner lock. I like the handle material on this. What's the handle material on this? $59. Carbon fiber? That's carbon fiber? That does not look like carbon fiber. It is. I can see the lines in it now, but that is some of the coolest looking carbon fiber I've seen. I was getting ready to hold on to this, grab another beer, and throw this in the area where the empties go. Let's, here we go, guys. Here we go again. So anybody that tuned in late, Elliot has a thing about making his flipper tabs that have a specific purpose. And I talked about it before. The flipper tab on every one of Elliot's in-house build knives is the best bottle opener you're ever going to use. It is. It gives you a really cool sound. It flies it off. It does not like bend it up. They come out like perfectly flat. I'll grab one. I'll show you. Screw it. I'm not doing that. There's no deformation. Like you could stick it on and just pop it back on there again if you want. They're one of the best bottle openers you will ever find. And they're always in your pocket. And it sounds cool. It sounds cool when you do it. It has a very distinct soundamundo. Yeah, that's some of the coolest looking carbon fiber I've seen. And that's on a fairly good budget knife. That's a fairly budget knife. How much is this one? Was it 60? $59.95. Yeah, 60. 60 for that one. Oh, it's out of stock, but that's still pretty good. Well, that's the last of their gift ideas under 50. So would you guys like to do Q&A? I'm getting cross-baited. Robert has a special purpose. Yes, to fill up my inbox. You and several other people. Apparently, the other individuals did not hear us when we talked about that. Here are 2 bones to prove it, Grumpy Mickey. To prove what? Q&A, quesadillas and apples. That's what we're doing. So you guys can ask some questions. I will decline to answer anything that I choose not to. Like I'm not saying this is ask me anything and I'll answer it. No, I didn't say that. I said Q&A. There's a difference. I did. I just opened a beer bottle. I need to finish this one. I'm not going to open 2 at a time. Annual Blazano hatred. We did it in August. I already did it. I do it for my birthday. I usually do it around either the beginning or end of August. Now, I used to, there was a long period where I did not wear underwear, period. It was just one less thing to watch. The chicks digged it. Chicks dug it. I'm not gonna lie. Chicks dig a guy that doesn't wear no drawers. Well, at least the chicks that I hung around with did. But at any rate, I used to wear boxers, and then I stopped wearing anything for a long time, and then started wearing boxer briefs. So, kind of both. Mike, your experience with Vero Engineering. Okay, so Joe is a good dude. I've talked to Joe. He's a very, very good dude. But the isotope that I had here literally felt like it was put together wrong. The lock bar was lower than the show scale. The lock bar came down to this weird angle, and it was not. It has not. It was not chamfered off. The pocket clip was really, really long. It caught. I just didn't like it. So there you go. Let's see here. Most disliked knife brand. Tor Engineering. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but I just don't fucking trust them. They've got designs that look suspiciously like my buddy Andy over at Half Face Blades. There's some question about the validity of their All American made claims. I have no proof. I said that there is suspicion. I'm not saying I have any proof. I'm not calling anyone out, but the big one was when informed that they had their design was suspiciously close to Andy over at Half Face Blades. They were like, okay, that's great. Fuck you. And I'm like, that's one, that's not cool. Two, Andy was a fucking SEAL. Like, that's not the dude you want to piss off locally. Which made me think, three, you guys aren't real bright. What do you wish we in Artisan Knives? Do you wish that we and Artisan Knives were made in the United States? I wish everything was made in the United States. I just know that the way our government has set things up and the way the tariffs and things are built and the way the average American worker looks at themselves as with a very, very overblown, overestimated worth, you're never going to be able to afford to make them here. Do I wish? Yeah, I wish those guys, because the fact is, I don't want them to have to stay there. Like, I would love We Knife Company to be able to relocate to the United States as an American business and allow those people that I know from We Knife Company and Artisan and stuff like that to Artisan Knives is a USA company, by the way, Greg. Artisan is an American company. Oh, you said where were they made? Okay, but anyway, I would love to be able to see all those people be able to come here and make a go of it here and do knives in the United States. I would love to see that. That's the American dream right there, right? That's the, come to America and make it. Like that's what the country was founded on. That's how my my immigrant family on my mother's side came across. My father's side of the family as well. My family in Ohio, they had farms in Ohio before it was even a state. They were in Ohio when it was the Western Territories, when that was the wild, wild West. That's that dream, right? You want to see that, but the amount of stuff that would have to go into that is impossible. What's the story of your last great drunken adventure in the Navy? I really didn't have one. I had a few friends over. I did not want a retirement ceremony. I was getting medically retired. I mourned my retirement. I was not ready to leave. I had things that I felt I still needed to accomplish. And this is a rough one. It sucks. And so I wasn't ready to retire. I got medically retired. I had like 2.5 years left. And I had like 4 or 5 friends over, and we watched a movie and drank beer, and I just didn't come to work the next day. I went to work on a Friday, and I didn't come back on Monday. So my last great drunken adventure, we watched what the fuck we watched Pulp Fiction. Braden, another open one. Why do you think you have 2 hands? You're a bad influence, Braden. Please don't say Emerson. I didn't. I mean, there have been some Emersons I've seen that are not bad designs. I just don't like the execution. Let's see here. Mike, Did you know Off Grid Knives supports veterans, military, etc.? I did know that. That doesn't mean I have to like their knives. I just find that I find their knives to the Scorpion is okay. And from what I can see, that Stinger XL that's here is okay. I just don't like the assisted opening ones. I did not say anything bad about the company. I just said I didn't. Well, unless I was. Oh, yeah. I had somebody tell me, a couple people tell me that they were really rude at the show. But having been at a show and worked at a show, I can get that. It depends on what time of the day it is, how many dumb questions you've been asked, how many days are left in the show, how mad your wife is at you because she found out you bought something while you were at the show. All those things could add into it. I've been at shows. I've worked shows. Heater Nation. Fuck those idiots. Y'all yap at Heater Nation. I saw that video and I was like, he's like, don't yap at Heater Nation. And I'm like, bro, come over here. Come over here. I'm going to teach you what your left ball tastes like. Do you use yours? You use your $1,000. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's not $1,000 knife. You'd have to pay me to take that knife. Lucky 13 Knives. I haven't seen it. I don't think so. Leon Ma's stuff is awesome. Leon Ma has some great stuff. Any option of Merrell hiking boots had Danners. The Merrells are really, really good. You pretty much have to order them online. Danners are great. Like, you can't beat a set. Like, those were the most sought. If you could get a set of Danners, of Danner fucking jump boots, if you could get someone to send you a pair, you had the holy grail. And if you had a connection to get somebody to send you some, you couldn't get them at the Navy Exchange. You could order them if you could ever get them through the stock system. Like, you could order them at the exchange. But if you had somebody stateside that could get you some Danners, whoo, you could sell a set of Danners, like get a set of Danners and be like, look, I know that they're $150, but you know that I had to jump through my ass to get my friend to send these to me. So you're going to have to pay me $250. I'm not doubling the price, but I'm coming up on doubling the price. Let's see here. My last drunken adventure. Give me a second. I got drunk at my friend Kevin's house just down the road from here. At his kid's birthday party, because my daughter and his daughter were friends. He's from Pennsylvania. I'm from Southeast Ohio, close to Pennsylvania. And I went to a birthday party at Kevin's place. I don't remember the sun going down. And I know I woke up at 9 o'clock the next morning my feet were on the couch. My back was on the floor and my feet were up on the couch. And my wife was standing over me with a very unpleasant look upon her face. And she told me, she's like, I've never been this embarrassed of you doing something. And then she yelled a bunch of stuff in Japanese that I couldn't follow. It was really fast. And I was still really drunk. And it turns out that Kevin, our friend Tony, remember, we're all active duty. And we all work at Spec 4 base. And we're all dumb. Apparently, the three of us got in the bounce house and collapsed it. And we were too drunk to get out. And the wives had to extricate us from the middle of a bounce house that we had collapsed. And we're like all up on each other. I don't remember it. But apparently, we all three got too close to the middle and collapsed it. And it rolled in. and the air pushed us up against each other, and our wives had a very, very, very hard time pulling our big asses out of there. Leon Ma need to send me my damn field duty. I paid for it last year. Yeah, he's a good dude. I'm sure he's giving you constant updates. CT always made a better Emerson than Emerson. I think if you want to know the truth, Appalachian Trail makes a better Emerson than Emerson. I don't know what we're talking about. We got guys here. Danners kick ass. Yeah, Danners are great. Danners are the way to go. All right, Mike, is 80 CRV2 steel any good for fixies? I don't know. I've never really dealt with it. I know that X50 that I have in a couple of kitchen knives that came in from Dahlstrom seems to be amazing in a kitchen knife. So X50 is what those are. Irish setters, but old ones. Danners are straight Gucci combat boots. So yeah, they're like it's like wearing high top basketball shoes instead of fucking. What ships was I on the Navy? I was on the USS Dubuque, USS Fort McHenry, USS Chancellorsville, the Kitty Hawk, and then I was TAD security on the USNS Benavides, the Bob Hope as embarked security. And I don't mean like security like police. I mean we did the expeditionary security like the rappel borders kind of thing. Like we stood the watches. And then bunch of USNSs. And I did submissions up and down through the ditch, providing security for the subs. We took a lot of duties over from the SEALs and Marine MARSEC. That was the whole point of our unit was expeditionary combat, the mobile security teams, MES. It was mobile security. I can't remember. They changed our acronyms so many times. We basically took like low-hanging fruit from the operators so that they could do stuff. We did VBSS, flyaway VBSS, stuff like that. So I was on a lot of USNS ships. I got something in my eye. Let's see here. Red Wing. I got news for you. Like I've had Red Wings and I've had a lot of different, there was a lot of different providers for our military boots. Red Wing did a lot of them. I've had Wolverines and Red Wings and stuff growing up. I've never had a pair of boots that were as good as Danners for as long, with the exception of my Converse desert boots that they had specially made for us. They had custom insoles and shit. Those were like nothing you've ever seen. Those were so comfortable, but they did not last as long as the Danners ever did. And you could get Danners resold really easy. So there's no K in that word. Why does knees, like your knees, have a K, but knives has a K, but there's no like, but Neves, Jared's name, does not have a K? Could we just get a little normalcy? If it makes the N sound, can't it just be an N? And if you're American and you say shul or schedule, people look at you funny. But that's how it's fucking spelled. And if you go to England, they absolutely tell you that you need to schedule it. Hey, Jared, check this out since you're here. You ready? Are you ready? I got something for you. Well, why is it going down? Look what happened, Jared. Look what happened. Robert, once again, thank you very much for the 2 bones, but you absolutely, like I said, can make a comment. Why, spank you, Robert, for the 2 bones. Well, it's $2 Canadian, so what is that, like 86 cents? Canadian pesos? I don't know. Let's see here. That was a Heater fan. Who was? Yeah, a Heater fan. But this motherfucker's talking about Heater Nation. You don't yap at Heater Nation. Look what I can do. Falls on his face. I rode. You guys want to hear a story? I got hurt. I got hurt pretty good one time. My grandfather was a very no nonsense gentleman. And well, I mean, Dick's a pretty big dude, but he's young. And here's the thing: there is no way that youth and exuberance will ever come close to treachery in old age. It's just no way. He's just not going to make it. I don't know. He's a big dude. He seems like a nice guy, though. I don't know. So when I was a kid, my parents got me a BMX bike, a BMX bike. God, it so sounds stupid. So up on the farm, you had this big barn, and it came down, and then it had an office area and a tack room and all kinds of stuff. And then off the tack room, it dropped down into this ditch. Well, so here's the tack room, and it drops down. Well, on this side was a hill, a steep hill. We used to sled ride and stuff down it. But there was like an area where my grandfather had cut out and kind of built a retaining wall in between the barn and the wall, this hill. And it was about, I want to say maybe, I'm trying to measure it. It was probably about 5 feet wide off the end of the barn. But as we would plow the field, these big rocks and stuff, because we lived on a limestone shelf, and the area where I lived is in the foothills of the Allegheny Mountains, and there's these huge rocks up there where the glaciers stopped. So if you go further north from where I'm at, you start getting into some really, really flat areas. And so this is where the glaciers stopped, and so it's really hilly, and the mountains and everything are still there. And so when you would plow the field, you'd plow up these big rocks. And every time, and I was like, where the fuck do they keep coming from? It's like, I was like, it's like they're reproducing. Like, you would think you plow a field this year, there's not gonna be any rocks next year. And if there are, they're gonna be smaller ones. You catch them and you just throw them out, and eventually there's no rocks. That was wrong. There was always big fucking rocks. But my grandfather would drop these rocks in that area between the barn and this area of the hill where he'd cut off. And I decided, the whole thing was they would kind of sink in, they'd fill in, they'd help the retaining wall and everything. I decided I'd drag my BMX bike up onto the barn, because we'd all just watched the movie Rad, and we were all trying to teach ourselves these fucking badass BMX tricks. But all of us were just back-ass hillbillies, and we're doing it on fucking gravel and rock dirt roads and shit, because we were idiots. And so I drag my BMX bike, my shiny new BMX bike that my parents had got me for Christmas. I drag it up onto the roof of the barn, and I decide I'm going to ride it off and jump onto the hill and then ride up the hill. My grandfather watches me do this. He says, "What you doing, boy?" I said, "I'm going to ride my bike off the barn up onto the hill." He's like, "I don't think it's a good idea." And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "All right, don't forget about them rocks." I ride off, and I'm thinking I'm going to be able to jump right off the barn. But unfortunately, the slope of the barn and my pedaling was not enough in the very short run for me to do anything but ride off and drop right off the end of the roof and look down and realize I was going face first into a great big pile of fucking plow rocks. And my grandfather watched me and goes, "I warned you." And I was like, "We gotta go to the hospital." He goes, "I tried to warn you, so I'm not in that big of a fucking rush." And I was like, "Get in the truck, stupid." "You still got all your teeth?" And I was like, yeah, I got all my teeth. Just don't have all my brains. No reason. No wonder I can't remember silly things like normal things. I've been beat around the head so many times. Okay, somebody asked me. Okay, Greg says, "Would you rather smell constant?" All right, here. Let me try and put all the words together and use all of them. Like I'm gonna read all the words in the correct order. Mike, would you rather constantly smell super sick, smelly farts 24/7, or while awake, or eat only Snickers only Snickers only for a whole year? I think there's an extra only in there, but I think I've had enough giggle grass that like it. Let me see. Have you seen how big my nose is? I'm going with the Snickers. I can smell shit next door. I was telling Jared about it. I have a very, very sensitive nose. Even when I smoked a lot, I could still smell. Like I had a very, very good nose. I would absolutely have to eat Snickers. Plus, I mean, fuck, who doesn't like Snickers? I just can't. We'd have to switch to a different candy bar. I can't have peanuts because I have diverticulitis. I mean, I can't think anybody that would want to smell farts 24/7. Reminds me of grandfather again. You a smart fella or a fart smeller? I have to tell you that construction work is absolutely, it's a very, very polar environment. Some things are incredibly fun and exciting, and some things you just don't want to do. Like drilling a hole, that's just boring. But attaching two pieces of metal, fuck, that's riveting. I lost my Norseman. What would I carry? I've been carrying my my Beg Letter XL. You guys got the construction joke, right? I've been carrying my Beg Letter XL, and I'll tell you what's been in my pocket a lot now that I don't have my Norseman available to me right now, because I had a screw fall on my Norseman. I'm waiting on a screw to come. I just put it back in here. Like this is gonna surprise like the prickle. I like this little knife. This has spent a lot of time in my pocket since my Norseman went down hard with an injury. Yeah, I just pulled a dad joke on you. Yeah, that was good. That was a good one. If you smelled farts 24/7, you'd eventually stop smelling farts. I've lived Stone Container, Coshocton, Ohio. I lived just down the road from a steel mill, or I mean a paper mill. Then it was Rock 10 paper, Stone Container, then Rock 10. It always smelled like we would go into the town. I was like, "What's that smell?" My dad was like, "It's Stone Container." They shut that place down. I went home. It didn't feel like home. I'm not going to lie. And other people said the same thing. Other people that I knew, and they were like, "So it's first you've been back since they closed down a paper mill?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like home." And they're like, "Right? I've lived here for my entire life. Like, I wake up and I'm like, smells weird." And then I realize that's what fresh air smells like. And I'm like, right? Paper mills fucking stink. Like, people don't know that. A wise man once said, mm-hmm. Funny ha-ha, not funny queer.
Guys, Satan here. I just wanted to remind everyone to like the video so Shitbag here can get more views.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I blacked out there for a second. What is it? Yeah, Black. I don't know what he said, but
Hey, I didn't ask you to drop a super chat or anything. All I said was you probably should like this, considering there's 34 people here at fucking 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. You guys don't have lives.
I'm back. Try living next to a rubber plant. Why, does it smell like minoxidil 9? Wrong kind of rubbers? Wasn't sure. I have a question, Mike. Do you have a minimum and maximum blade length you like to carry? It depends on what mood I'm in. Like I said, I'm 6'3", 235, 240 pounds. I pretty much carry anything I want. I take that back. The Raja 2, that's just too fucking big. I think the Spartan. I think that Spartan, Cold Steel Spartan, would it be about the biggest I would be comfortable carrying? Now, fixed blade, it depends. Am I carrying a fixed blade in downtown San Diego, which you can legally do as long as it's not concealed, and you don't have it out brandishing it and gesticulating wildly towards the citizenry? Then it just depends on the situation. So, it wasn't me. That was Satan Claus. Guys, I cannot find my Santa Claus hat. I have got a Real Tree camo Christmas hat, Santa Claus hat, and I can't fucking find it. I was going to wear it. I'm going to look around again. If not, I think I know where the actual... I didn't put the tree up this year because it's just me, and honest to God, I'm working like 15, 16 hours a day trying to get content done. And like I said, with the fact I'm learning the new software, it definitely is taking up a lot more time. There's no sense getting the Christmas tree out and have to put it up because I can't put it anywhere but right here, and then it's in the way. I did, however, decorate the house. Not a lot. There's a nail right next to the exit to the front garage door. Oh, I thought you heard me, Chuck it. I thought you heard me talk about it. I'll touch on that. And there's an outlet right there next to it. I went and got my extension cord for Outback, the one that I usually use for my grinder if I'm going to make knives, which I haven't done in a long time. And so I plugged in our light up wreath. So I'm not saying I went out of my way and did a lot of decorating. It took me like 30 seconds. The husk, I did look for it. My wife thinks it got packed up with her stuff to go to Japan. She had mentioned taking it to show it to her father how bad it was, because she was going to throw it. I showed her a picture of what it was. She's like, "Oh, I think I brought that with me." She's going through her luggage. So it could be in Japan. If not, I think she threw it away. I'm going to continue to look. But like she saw it. I remember her initial impression was she saw it. And I had said that you told me to throw it away. She's like, that's a good idea. And I don't remember if she did take it, because I got into the Google Grass about the time. I got into the Google Grass a lot while they were getting ready to leave. And so I think she may have taken it to show her father a Japanese kitchen knife for his critique. And I guarantee that if he did see it, he's going to be like, throw that the fuck away. Not in our trash. Go over to the neighbor's trash. I don't want that associated with anything to do with this house. I guarantee that would be the words he would say. So we'll see. If she finds it, I'll make sure she brings it back. It's not going to cost. I already bought the tickets. So sometimes the citizenry fucks around and finds out. This is true. I pulled pepper spray on a guy one time when I was working. And I want to pull him pepper spray on a dude. And this guy's like, I don't think you'll pepper spray me. And he goes, motherfucker, you put it on a dude's hamburger 2 days ago. You may want to just do what the fuck he tells you and get down so I can cuff you, because he's going to turn you orange from the top of your head till about your nipples. The dude was like, seriously? And he goes, I looked at him and was like, I like spraying people. I love pepper spraying people. I absolutely fucking enjoy someone running their mouth, and then I get to pepper spray them, and then the first time they start screaming at me, I pepper spray them in the mouth. Like, if I can spray you in the mouth, any chance you give me, I'm gonna do it. Like, if you're yelling at me and berating me and calling me names, every time you open your fucking mouth and go like this, I'm gonna aim for your nose and your mouth, and I'm gonna just pepper spray the fuck out of you. I'm gonna keep doing that until you stop and you just whimper. And a guy was like, my partner was like, he will pepper spray you. He's going to pepper spray you. I'm surprised he hasn't pepper sprayed you yet. The fact it's already out of his pouch and he has not sprayed you yet, he's probably in a good mood. I've never had anyone spit. I saw a dude yank a guy out of a car without taking off this gentleman's seatbelt because he spit on him. This dude was a monster. But yeah, like, I'm gonna tell you what, you spit at me, you're gonna have a lot more to worry about. That is one thing I will not tolerate. Any of the times I ever got in trouble for actually fighting in the Navy, like on the ship with someone else, it was probably because they spit on me. If you spit on me, that is an insult that I will not tolerate. You spit on me, I'm going to try to pound your nose out the back of your fucking head. Why are we losing people? Like, people are leaving. It must be Heater Nation. Well, I'm telling you, like, before anybody else decides they're going to leave the membership because they're getting about 10,000 and let it drop again. Before any of you do that, I would like to remind you, this is a subscriber only stream. Like, you have to be a subscriber to comment. And that's the only way you're going to be able to comment on the night of the giveaway. So if you're dropping out, you're not going to be able to do a comment. What if it's a llama? I fucking hate llamas. I like alpacas, though. Goddamn Hater Nation. Don't you yap at Hater Nation. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you. There's 34 people still here. Depending on the mood I stay in. Oh, I know. I'm just kidding. I'm absolutely joking. I don't want you to think I'm like, oh, pissed. Like, we broke 10,000. Like, I'm fucking, that's it. And it happened relatively quickly. Jeremy over at the Quartering shouted me out on Instagram. And after that, after Jeremy shouted me out on the Quartering, we went from 98, 97 to 10,000 in like 3 or 4 days. Literally, it was that fast. So, I mean, that's really cool. Jesus Christ, it got cold out. It is 60 degrees now. It's 48 degrees outside. Oh, guys, that video that went up today where I was talking about being 41 degrees, that wasn't outside. Like, everybody's like, hey, so what? It's like 16 degrees. I was like, yeah, but is it 16 degrees in your workspace? No, it was 40. Like, when I was filming that, it was like 30 something degrees outside. There's no heat in this garage. There's no vents. There's no nothing. And I don't run my furnace. This is the coldest place in the house. And it was 41 degrees in the studio because I was filming early that morning. So, now I forget what I was going to say. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I will keep going until I finish that beer. And we can hang out for a little bit. If you guys have got more stuff you want to talk about, I'm watching the chat. But if you really, really want me to read it, oh no, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna try and coerce you all into dropping super chats. I got a lot of super chats tonight. That's a lot for me. I watch like Jared and Cole's, and they get a lot of super chats, and I'm like, initially I was like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And then I realized that, like, if I treat the live feeds like trying to make money, no one enjoys them, including me. And so even if I don't get a super chat, I don't fucking care. But if you give me a super chat, we can do all kinds of cool things. Sorry, my bad. 32. Oh, back in the back. Lorraine won. All right, Lorraine, come on up.
I think you're developmentally challenged.
Wow. I got some stuff going on here. It's 21 degrees there. Yeah, I mean it's not bad. My feet are cold because I don't have warm slippers yet. I bought myself a pair of warm slippers for Christmas. Oh, I was going to tell you guys that. So my buddy Jeremy, do you guys remember? Like I stopped doing the thing like if we get to this much in a super chat, and I stopped doing that while I was in the hotel because shortly after I got home from the hotel, my friend Jeremy, who's been a big supporter of the channel, reached out and he said, I have one. It's me and my daughter at Disneyland. I'm not changing that. Crazy Sharp Games has the Cross Swords. Crazy Sharp Games has that. So anyway, Jeremy reached out. He says, "Hey, I'm going to buy the software for you." I was like, "Oh man, that's great." It's like a Christmas present, right? And I was like, "Cool." So he's like, "I'm going to send you stuff." And I was like, "I need your address." So I sent my address because he wanted to send me a Christmas card. I just thought he was going to just like PayPal me the $300 for the software because it's $299.99. Just say it's $300 fucking dollars. $299.99. That's 1 penny away from $300. Just make it an even $300. I'm tired of seeing all them fucking nines. At any rate, he's like, yeah, I get it. And so I got a card from him, a Christmas card, and I opened it up and I was like, oh, cool. And a check falls out for $1,300. I was like, God damn, Jeremy, you know how to do Christmas. So big shout out to Jeremy Morris, one of the biggest supporters of the channel. He has done that several times over the last few years. So good night, Robert. What's anybody got? Anybody get anything new? Like early Christmas presents from Knife Friends? Mike's beard is scared. I put Christmas lights in my beard once. It was longer than this. I don't know what happened. I think it has something to do with the meds that I have to take. But my beard was significantly longer at one point, and it was not as brittle and dry, even though I used beard oil and beard conditioner and stuff. I absolutely I put Christmas lights in my beard. My daughter braided it one time. My daughter braided it, put it in ponytails. And so I think it's some of the medicine I'm on for my condition has affected it. It could just be that I'm getting older, but yeah, I put the little Christmas lights. I'm thinking about picking up a Yojimbo too. I don't like them. One, like, I don't like them because they are touted as like they're like a full-time self-defense tool, and they might work good for that. I mean, but the fact is, just because you have a self-defense knife in your pocket without training is worthless. So I think that those give a false sense of security, and then they're useless for a lot of other stuff. The Yojimbo, it will cut. I will tell you, it will cut like crazy. Super thin, hollow, but then it comes down to such a fragile tip that I'm afraid that it would absolutely, I absolutely break. I feel the same way about this one. That's so fragile up there at the very front that's for nothing but self-defense. Now this is one like the Yojimbo, you'd have to have some training. This one, that's it. I got this that's why I got it from my wife, but she's afraid to carry it. She says, looks scary. And I'm like, yes, I guess. She's like, I don't want to carry that. It looks scary. I was like, yes, I want it to be scary. I want it to be scary. I want you to pull that in. I want you to pull that out. And the guy that is trying to rob you go, never fucking mind. That's what I want. But she's scared of it. So now I have a Matriarch 2 that's set up for left-hand carry. I got the Drop Forge Ferrum, or the Drop Ferrum Forge Gent, a band, and a Bestech Bandit. They got some decent sales. Action on both is on spot. I have my my Gent that Nico customized for me. So what is this? Braden said I have this. Oh yeah, okay. You guys are talking about that. Mike Emler, I don't care about the self-defense part, but they release one in a steel I really want to try to get from Spyderco. Other models they released with that steel have awful scales. No, like I said, the Yojimbo is really cool, but I think it's just too fragile. Like I'd be afraid to try and do much with it before you broke that tip right off. I don't think it would handle it real well. Now I know for a fact, there it is. It's like I know for a fact I have a bottle koozie. So much fun doing that. It's fun enough. You could get yourself intoxicated just because you're like, that's pretty cool. Let's see here. They aren't hard. What are we talking about here? You guys are having side conversations. Are you guys going to interact with me or each other? Because that's what drives the conversation. Just curious. Somebody wants to address something to me. I got a whole beer here. Oh, that's cold. I know it's going to be cold because it was frozen on the outside, but I put salt on the ice. These weren't that cold. When I drove over to the base, I had to get two other things. I needed some laundry detergent, and I was like, fuck it. It's Friday. I'm coming up on 10,000. I was like, we might hit 10,000 during the live. That would be cool. And I was like, yeah, I'll get some beer. And I got them home and they weren't real cold. And I put them in this cooler and I covered them with ice and I dumped some rock salt on them. And they are like really, really cold. What's your thoughts on the Spyderco Shaman? I don't like the Shaman. I'm going to tell you right now, there are only... It's not that I don't like Spyderco knives. I do absolutely like Spyderco knives. There are only a few Spyderco knives I like. I like the Endura series. I like the Delica, the Andela, the Police, the Endura 4. I like those. I honestly do. Those are some of my favorite knives. If you were to look back at the number of knives I've owned of a specific type, I've owned more Enduras than any other knife. I've had stainless steel. I had one in VG10. I had one in another steel that they came out. It was like a sprint run. I bought it off a guy. I had one in CDP 189. I had another one in VG10 and sold it. And those are just Enduras. And now I have a Police in VG10, which is very similar. So that's, yeah, I would have to say that's my favorite. But I don't like the Shaman. I like the Enduras. I like the PM2. I like the original paramilitary, the paramilitary 1. The rest of their line of knives, with some minor except the Chaparral was pretty good. And a couple other more budget ones that come out of the Taichung, Taiwan plant. They're okay. But like, there's only like a handful. There's like 5 of them. Have you seen the mythical donkey shows in Tijuana? No, I only ever went to Tijuana twice. But, you know, because I was only ever stationed out here after I was married. So I did, however, see a banana show in Okinawa, and then we were in some shithole third world country. Yeah, this is a good story for you. Oh, that Megaron is nice. Yes, smooth drop. Did you get one? Did you use my affiliate link to get one? That's probably going to lead to poor decisions. Have you seen? Got one? Did you use my affiliate? Guys, if you don't use my affiliate links, like that would be one of the best things you guys are going to go shopping anyway. All of my affiliate links. Let me walk you through all 36 of you. This is how my affiliate links work. The affiliate link is just a link to my affiliate store. If you click on, that's the one that has the triangle with the exclamation point in it on the container. And that was a big hit. Like my mouth is very sandy at the moment. I forget what I was talking about. It's Airizer Solo 1. Oh, aside, yeah, but the majority of the Spyderco knives I really don't like. So there we go. That's where that's. Mike erased his brain from it. Bro, I've been hitting that since like 4 o'clock this afternoon. For the paying members, there's a chance that there'll be a movie tonight. I don't know yet. It depends. But if I do, I'm probably going to put up something I might do a fight or something like that. Oh, Banana Show. Oh, yeah, here we go. I had not seen a donkey show. I want you guys, like, it's 2 hours a night. Hopefully the censors aren't listening. They're going to shut my channel down. So I was on a ship and I don't remember what shithole third world country we're in. And a guy that I used to hang out with comes up and he goes, "Hey man, you got to try this." I was like, "What?" It might be somewhere in the Philippines. He's like, "Come out with me." And so there's a line of guys that are in front of this line of guys that are standing there waiting on this chick. And this guy comes out and this guy announces that, like, if you can take a crap on her face, like you have a set amount of time. If you can do it before the time's up, you win whatever money's been collected for the night. So everybody pays up. And you go up and you drop trowel and you sit down on this, basically an open outhouse in public in this back alley, and you try to crap on this chick's face, right? And so I tried and I found out what the secret was. Like we went and he's like, "I've never went. I've like everybody told me about it, but I've never went. You got it. We're going to try this." I'm like, "All right." This is the same dude as Chris. Same dude that I'll tell you a story about him in a minute too. And so you get up there and you drop trowel and you sit down on basically an outhouse hole. And when you get ready, like she watches for your butthole to start to pooch and she blows on it. And then it just, you're like, oh, and you can't do it. And so after we learned that trick, we were coming back a few weeks later because we were doing exercises and trips around and stuff. And so he ate all kinds of like refried beans and stuff. And like, he was like in line. He's like, "Bro, like I'm going to shit myself if we don't get up there soon." And I was like, "You're right." And he's like, "We all paid in. And if anybody succeeds, everybody else leaves." And he's like, I'm going to fucking pop. And he gets up there and he sits down and I saw it happen. Before this chick, she goes like, and gets ready to blow. He blew. And it was quite a commotion. And I was like, "I don't think they brought any towels." Yeah. What are you guys talking about? Like, I'm trying to let this conversation drive. You guys, you know what? Lacey, who are you talking with? tell Braden he needs to join the paying membership, and then the chat server, and then you guys can DM. I'm just kidding. You guys can absolutely conversate. Just kidding. But there was that. But this is the same guy. This is Chris. This is the same guy that we pull into Thailand. And Thailand is an adult Disneyland. And it used to be okay-ish to like find the services of a woman that would rub you for money. She's a masseuse. She massages shit. Any rate, so if you're on an amphibious ship, there are usually 300 sailors and like 1,000 Marines. And so when it comes time to leave, you have to leave on a Liberty boat. And the Liberty boat only can handle like 30 people at a time. And so it takes a very, very, very long time to get these people on the boat. And then off the ship. And so what we would do is we would, like, the majority of us would just go and lay down and go to sleep. So we'd take a nap and then wake up like a couple hours later. And then they would run the boats 24 hours a day. So you weren't really missing that much. That way I'd go to sleep, and that way I could stay up late that night and drink. So at any rate, the ship pulls in at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Liberty call goes down at 10, which that means you're free to leave if you're not on duty. And so we went and took a nap, and then we left the ship like 5 p.m. We get up, we got dressed, we had the fucking showers all to ourselves. It wasn't a rush. Got on the boat. There's like 4 other guys with us because everybody was already gone. And so we get out in town and get to our hotel, me and my buddy, and our buddy Chris was, now that I think about this story, I think he had a problem. He was supposed to meet us at this hotel, and we were all going to hang out. It had like a swim up bar and stuff, and it was great. This is Pattaya Beach, Thailand. It was a fairly nice hotel. We spent a lot of money for 3 separate rooms. And so Chad and I get ready to go out to the bar or to the hotel to meet Cross. And we get there, and Chris is leaving. He's like, "Don't let her out the room until after I leave." And I was like, "Wait a second, where are you going?" He's like, I gotta go back to ship, man. And I was like, what the fuck is this? We were supposed to hang out. We were supposed to stay. He's like, "No, man, I'm done. I gotta go back to ship. I'm done. I can't stay. I gotta go." I was like, why? And he goes, "Well," and he goes, "Well, hang on a second." And he grabs the key. He's like, "Hang on a second." I was like, and he's telling his story. He's like, "I can't tell you. I got to show you." He's, "Well, just come. I'll show you." And he's got the key. And I was like, "What did you do?" He says, "Well, I got off ship, man," because he won the Liberty Boat raffle. He was one of the first 5 people off the ship. It was a prize you could win. Like the night before, they would try and raise money to do traveling tours and stuff like that. And so he had won a Liberty Boat raffle ticket, and he was one of the first 5 people off the fucking ship. And we were like, I was like, "What the fuck have you been doing?" And he goes, "Well," he's like, "So I got off the ship, and this girl comes up. She's talking to me. And she's like, $20, $20 make you holler." And I was like, "Well, I got a hotel room." And so they go and they check in the hotel room, and he's like, "So I'm telling her, we get to the room. Well, all right, come on, I'll show you. He's like, I told her I want to do something kinky. And she's like, "Well, I don't know. It's extra." And she's like, "What do you want to do?" He's like, "Well, I want to tie you to the bed." And we're at the room, and he's got the key in his hand, and he's like, and I was like, and he's like, "So I told her I'd pay her a little extra so I could tie her to the bed." And I goes, "But you just gotta see it." He opened the door, and the second he opened the door, I hear a young lady in there yelling, "I kill you. I kill you. I see you tie, I kill you." And so me and Chad, like the door frame, right, are like leaning in from the door frame, just the heads and shoulders, like. And she sees us. She's like, you too. I see you tie, I kill you." And I'm like, and I look, and she's tied to the bed, and there is a pile between her breasticles of human fecal material. that has run down and underneath and across your ribs and onto the bed. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he was like, hey, man, you know, sometimes you just got to check stuff off the list. And I'm like, what fucking list? What fucking list do you have that's on? And so he went back to the ship and I'm like, great. I'm like, fucking great. She's going to see me and she's going to see me out in town and recognize me and stab me with a hepatitis knife. I'm like, what the fuck, actual? What the fuck, over? Chris was a weirdo. Bro, what list? Right? Like, what fucking list do you have? I don't have this list. Like, I want to do 2 chicks at one time. And I may want to go down a ski slope naked. Like, that's a list. Like, your list ends in a fucking forensics file episode, you know? I'm pretty sure that's how his list ends. Like I'll be watching Forensic Files, the new Forensic Files 2, the new ones. I'll be like watching them. I'm like, so Christopher Cross. You're like, God damn, I fucking knew it. That's where his list took him, was the Forensic Files. What the fuck? It's a fucking Forensics Files episode. I almost couldn't get that one out. Like, that one popped into my head and I was like, the knife had hepatitis. Have you been to Thailand? I don't know what the fuck they do with those knives, but I'm pretty sure I would have caught hepatitis. I never got a tattoo in Thailand. I got one on the pier in Singapore, in fucking Philippines. I hate mushrooms in Philippines too. Okay. You guys ready for an illicit tale of things we weren't supposed to do? When we would go to Bali, there was a place that we would go that I knew a guy, because I'd been there so many fucking times. I used to go there 3 times a year on vacation for fun, because Bali is a great place. Hang out on the beach, $10 a night. You can get me and my buddy would go, $10 a night. You could get a 2-bed. You didn't need air conditioning. You're right on the ocean. It was beautiful. Flat or bungalow, I mean, with 2 beds upstairs, shower, small little living room, and then downstairs an open air dining room where they would bring you food and green mango and all kinds of shit, right? I've gotten sidetracked. But at any rate, so we would go there all the time and hang out on the beach and shit like that. Well, we met some dudes that we would go because there was a go-kart course. And they were like the full speed, like racing go-karts. Like, they were fast as shit. And so we'd go there. And I mentioned one time, just in past, I was like, man, I bet this would be fun on shrooms. He goes, you want me to get you some shrooms? And I was like, yes, I absolutely would like you to get me some shrooms. Why are you still here? Please take my money and go. And the guys were like, what? You're going to get in trouble. I was like, they test for coke. They test for weed. They test for steroids in certain cases. And they check for methamphetamines. I was like, but they absolutely do not check for mushrooms. And they're like, really? And I was like, they're like, you're our supervisor. And I'm like, I'd be a supervisor, but that doesn't mean I got to be a fucking stick in the mud. And I was like, yes, I absolutely want you to get enough for all of us, and then get enough for all of us again, because we're going to do this tomorrow. Have you ever ridden go-karts on mushrooms? It's fucking Mario Kart in real life, IRL. It is fucking amazing. And we did that a bunch of times, every time we would go, until Baker flipped a go-kart, broke his collarbone, and got the place listed as off limits. We were not happy. We were a less than enthused group of people. Shh, don't tell First Sergeant. So at any rate, the next time I went after go-karts, got taken off the list of things we could do if the ship was there. Like, when we would go on leave, me and my buddy John, when we go on leave, we absolutely ride go-karts. And so I ate way too many mushrooms one night. Like, a lot. And we had to walk around all night because I was not fit to be around anyone. My buddy John was keeping me around from anyone, keeping me away from anyone that we knew. And at one point, I ran up the steps because I was on the street and I heard something. He was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Wait, oh wow, that was a really long car." Some people are going to get that. Some people won't. And I was like, and I ran up the steps into this place. And he's like, "Oh, fuck." I can hear him behind me. He's like, "Oh, fuck." And I run up and I open the door and we're in a restaurant. What I had heard was people eating silverware on plates and shit. And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "I just want to watch people eat." He goes, oh my God, I've got to get you out of here." Poor John. Poor John. Poor John. John kept me out of trouble so many times. And then I wound up retiring. He went like, if anybody was like, "Oh, Emler's never gonna be able to retire. Like he's gonna fuck something up." They were like, "Oh, that motherfucker retired." So did John. We were like two peas in a pod. Trouble. They don't test for the cybacillin because it's it's not the typical drug. And when I first joined the military, it was still 3 strikes you're out. Like I was in the year before fucking zero tolerance started. We used to smell. Oh, check this out. I'm old enough that when I joined the Navy, when I first checked on board the ship, you could fucking smoke everywhere on the ship except the non-smoking area of the mess decks, fuel storage, aviation fuel labs, and medical. And you couldn't walk while smoking. Like you had to stop and smoke. But if you ever been on a really old Navy ship, there's all these little V-shaped brackets on the bulkheads. That's where the fucking ashtrays were. I used to wake up in the morning and I would lay in bed and smoke a cigarette because I didn't take a morning shower. I would get up at 6 a.m. reveille and I would lay in bed for 2 cigarettes before I ever got out of bed. And in the angle iron next to my bed, you remember those old ashtrays that had the bean bags on the bottom and they always had like the fucking plaid pattern on them? Hey, one of those in the fucking, I had the top rack. Everybody's like, "How come you didn't move to the bottom rack after the last guy moved out?" I was like, "Bro, top rack is fucking tits, bro." My rack came out and then there was angle iron. It came all the way up. I had an additional like fucking 2 feet of storage up there for my laundry bag and shit. I had magazines and shit up there. No one ever looked up there. I had my ashtray was up there. I would fucking lay up there and smoke cigarettes and shit. It's fucking amazing. You should move into a different rack. You should fucking figure out what the fuck's going on with that top rack up there. My big Samoan buddy, though, one time came back drunk and he climbed up into my rack because when he first checked in, it was his rack. And then he realized, it's like, "Bro, this big ass Samoan just tear our fucking arms off. I think we should just let him have whatever rack he wants." Forgot that it was my rack now. Came back shithouse. Paulo came back. Mr. P came back, climbed up into the top rack. I was there. He pushed me into the angle iron where I slept without a blanket all fucking night. And everybody's like, "Why didn't you say something?" I was like, "You see this dude?" And he wasn't a fat Samoan. He was like one of those built ass, like bodybuilder Samoans. Like, how much you lift? Buses and shit. Like when he did squats for a fucking strongman contest, he told him just not to fuck around and put as much weight as they could on. When he stood up, plates fell off the ends. And he goes there and racked it. Everybody was like, "I fucking quit." That kind of dude. Like I watched him bench 405 just like he was breathing. Pushed me into the angle iron and slept there. I was like, "I'm sleeping here tonight with no blanket." Woke up and he rolled over. He looked at me. He's like, "Why are you in my rack?" And I was like, "I'm in my rack." I was like, "You're in my rack." And he looked around. He's like, "I am in your rack," and climbed down. He was my buddy, dude. This was I would loan money out and then I would tell him if somebody didn't pay me back. I was like, "Hey, Mr. P, you know what? That kid down in engineering, I only loaned him like $50. He owes me like 70 on the slush return. That's how you did it. 50, 70 will get you 50. Like if I loan you 50, you owe me 70. And so I was like, oh, I'll address that. And so if somebody didn't pay me, like I called the dude and I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna need that $70. And he goes, how fuck you? I was like, oh, okay. Hey, Mr. P, you know that kid down in engineering I loading that fucking $50 to? He's like, yes. And I'm like, he never paid me. He's like, I'll be right back. And he's talked like that too. He had this like Mike Tyson voice with an accent. He'd disappear. He'd come back, and right behind him would be this individual with a fucking gnarled up, fucking busted eye, a little bit of blood to fucking tissue hanging out of their mouth. He's like, he wants to talk to you. And I'm like, he's like, hey man, like I was just, I didn't mean that. It was kind of a joke. Here's your money. I won't ever not pay you again. And I was like, oh wow. So you want those farts that change interest, Mike? Yeah. And so Paulo and I went out drinking. I have a couple of Paulo stories. Paulo was amazing. Paulo was like the most fun. He always talked like this, monotone. I mean, like that's honestly what he sounded like. But he was a fucking monster. He had arms like legs and legs like people. And so I would go out drinking with him. He was my buddy, and we always had fun. I love the dude. And everybody's like when something would happen, they're like, hey man, can you go down? Like Paulo would get drunk, and they're like, Paulo's still sleeping, and I kind of want him up. Can you go down and smack Mr. P's feet till he gets up? And I was like, why have I got to be the one to go down and wake that monster up? And they're like, everybody turn and look at each other, and I'm like, because he fucking likes you. You're the only person here he likes. He'll kill one of us. So I go up. Any rate, so I go out drinking with Mr. P. So Paulo and I are at the Seaside Club. First story, I'll tell you this one. We're at the Seaside Club, and we're drinking, and I was there with like my girl. I was a girl that I knew, and like 3 of her friends, and they were all gorgeous. We're all dancing. I'm having a good time, and I'm like, I'm gonna probably try to hit at least 2 of these chicks. Like I'm gonna try and have knowledge of at least 2 of these women. And Paulo was not an unattractive dude, but he just really didn't have any way to interact with the female species. He just didn't have it in him. And so he gets drunk, like really drunk. And we're sitting at the table, and I'm sitting there, and I'm tired. We've been dancing and stuff. I'm just sitting there, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to talk this chick into going to the hotel with me later tonight. And all of a sudden I realized Paulo stands up. And Paulo like would sit down and drink, and that was it. I was like, either he's gonna pee or something has happened. And he stands up and he looks at this cute little blonde that he'd been talking, like he obviously liked her. And he goes, you're going to dance with me? And she's like, no, it's okay. I'm kind of tired. He goes, I wasn't asking, and picked her and the chair up and walk out to the middle of the dance floor. And he starts dancing, and just this look of panic on her face. She tried to get up, and he told her, no, sit. And she kept dancing. Someone called security. The police show up, and it was like a scene. It was like the scene from Blazing Saddles, where he's like, no, don't do that. Don't shoot him. You'll just make him angry. The base police show up, and they were like, they saw him, and they start pulling out their nightsticks. And I walk over because I knew a couple of them. The guy Bird was with them, and he was trying to stop him too. I was like, Bird, and he goes, no, I got it. And we were like, look. You guys absolutely can take him with you. Like we won't argue that. I was like, but you're gonna want to do it our way. And they're like, what? And Bird was working for security at the time, and he's like, yeah, he's like, if you don't want this to end in a trip to the hospital for at least 3 of us, let Mike take care of this. And so I walk over. I was like, hey, Paulo. Hey, bro. She wants to get up, and security's over there. They just want to talk to you a little bit. Okay. And he goes, oh, okay. And he's like, I'm sorry. He was just shit-faced. And he's like, he looked at her. He's like, I'm sorry. I thought we were having fun. And she walks back, and he picks the chair up, pulls it back, slides it under the table. If you talked to Paulo like you were like, if you respected Paulo and he respected you, and you just talked to him like a normal person, you were fine. But if you were afraid of Paulo, he could smell it like a fucking dog, and you'd get bit, and you'd get fucked up, and you'd get hurt real, real bad. And so they take Paulo, they give him a breathalyzer, they bring him back the next morning. They just gave him a courtesy ride. He didn't get in any trouble. The time he did get in trouble, we all had just passed a big certification evolution. Like we were certified to handle nukes. And so we'd passed our certification re-up for that. And we all decided we're going to fucking go out and get drunk. So we went out to the, what's it called? The Helms? It was the Anchorage, the Helm Club. That's what it was. Helm Club and Anchorage were a place. It was a food court and a bar. I must have enthralled you all because like the chat stopped, but there's still 30 people here. So we all go out. It was me and Pops and Stretch and Raj, and I got a story about Raj, and Paulo and Stan the Man Kohler, the only person I've ever seen drink Russians under the table in Russia. And I was like, that's a fucking thing right there. So at any rate, we're all out drinking, and Paulo got shit house drunk, like bad, which is explainable because there was 4 people there, and we were taking turns buying rounds, and we were buying, you know, the cardboard thing that 6-packs sit in at the store where the 6-pack of cans, there's like a case of them on a cardboard flat. We were doing those, but with shots of tequila, and another guy would go up and get a tray of beers. And we did that for a lot of hours, and we were all fucking wrecked. And Paulo stands up. Now you got to understand, the Helm Club. No, it was Triple A Sports Bar. Helm Club's in Great Lakes. Triple A Sports Bar was what it was in, and the Anchorage was a food court. It's on stilts, and it hangs out over the harbor. And there's a walkway. There used to be a walkway, and then they turned it into windows. And so these windows are up there, and so your table's there, and you're like in this way out. You're like way out over the water, like 15 feet out over into a deep, deep harbor that used to be a dry dock. And Paulo stands up, and he opens the window, and he goes, "I'm going back." And we're like, "Why are you opening the window?" He's like, "I'm swimming home," and jumps into this nasty ass harbor. In the early 90s, in Japan, you could spill a can of fucking haze, 5 gallons of paint into water. That wasn't considered a hazmat issue. We dumped raw sewage in the harbor constantly in the early 90s. Like to the point where there would be toilet paper floating in the harbor from the sewage that our ships were dropping in the bay. He got up and dove into that water and swam back to the berthing barge. And then stripped off his clothes. He didn't remember it. Like we woke him up. No, it was on the ship still. He was on the ship. We woke him up, and I was like, we were like, "Hey, Paulo." This is Saturday morning. Like he didn't get in any trouble. Like Saturday morning, I was like, "Paulo." He's like, "What?" I was like, "How was your swim home?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "Bro, you jumped out the window at Triple Play Sports Bar and swam back." And he goes, in the bay?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro." He goes, Do you have sheets?" And I was like, "What?" He goes, "I have to take a shower." You don't have video? How do you? Okay, did you guys lose the video and only have the audio? Is that what I'm saying? I'm baked. So yeah, Mr. P was like, he looked at me, he's like, I need clean sheets. I'm like, "Bro, I got like 2 sets, bro." Like that dude. We were out one night, and we were out one night, and this dude's like, "What's this guy grinning at me for?" And Paulo was like, and I was like, "Oh, no. He's not grinning. That's his teeth are just fixed like that. He's just grinding his teeth." He's like, "Why?" And he goes, "I don't think he likes you." And I was like, "Oh, you wish you had a video?" "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This was like 92, 93 time frame. It was of him jumping and swimming. Oh, that harbor was so dirty. I fell in a harbor one time. Oh, Raj. You ready for Raj? So Smitty, we had 2 guys. We had Stretch, that was Smitty. And then we had Raj. His name was Smith, too. We called them the Smith brothers. One of them was a fairly decent human being. The other one was a complete and utter piece of shit. The second one, which was Raj, the complete and utter piece of shit, wound up getting kicked out of Japan and out of the Navy because he was at a park exposing himself to high school girls in his car. That's what got him in trouble. But when we were on the ship together, he was married and he had a young kid, about a year old. And so Raj was the kind of guy that would go out in town and get in a fight and expect you to pull them out of the altercation. So at any rate, so Raj was a complete piece of shit. And he was married to this chick. And I hung out with Raj because he was fun to drink with, but he's the only person I've ever seen that had an aborted fetus sent to him with a "I hope you die" card attached to it. So at any rate, it was his girlfriend. So at any rate, I went to dinner with him and his wife and their very, very young child. And we were there, and I was drinking beer, and he was drinking beer. You can drink beer at every restaurant in Japan, like except McDonald's. And it was just like we had a pitcher of beer because I would drink with Raj. We worked together. He was one of my supervisors, and so regardless of him being a garbage human, you form a bond. So at any rate, we're sitting there, and his kid has this toy, and I think his wife was Indonesian or Filipino. I can't remember which. But the kid throws the toy on the floor, and Raj is like, "Don't pick it up." And his wife picked it up and gave it back to the kid, and he goes, "If he does it again, he doesn't get it back." And so, like, this is like a 1-year-old kid, and she's playing. Yeah, his girlfriend, because he was cheating on his wife constantly. He was a piece of shit. So the kid's got this toy, and he's shaking it around, and it flies out of his hand again. It falls on the ground, and his wife goes to pick it up. And he's like, "If you pick that up, you're walking home." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Now, I will admit, he probably had this kid probably wound up being the toughest kid you'd ever want to meet, like a boy named Sue. But at any rate, so this came from out in town. It was because you could mail stuff to the ship from out in town in Japan, and we'd get it fairly quickly. It was his girlfriend that lived out of town. So at any rate, the kid throws it. We get ready to leave. The waitress comes back and tries to give the kid the toy. And Raj looks at her and goes, "No, if he wanted it, he wouldn't have thrown it on the floor again." Which the next part of this story should not surprise you, because like 2 weeks later, I was one of the only guys I was one of the few guys on the ship that had a cell phone. I had a Japanese friend that got me a cell phone. And so my phone rings out in the park, and they're like, "Hey, is this Emler?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "How did you get this phone number? This is the ship, right?" "Yeah, it's quarterdeck. Your cousin gave it to us." Like, this, my cousin and I were on the same ship. And they're like, "Is Smith with you?" And I was like, "Which one?" And they're like, "The white one." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." We called them the Smith brothers because it was ironic. One was black, one was white. Get it? And so I was like, "Is Smith with you?" And I was like, "Which one?" They're like, "The white one." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Your car with you?" I was like, "Yeah, I drove a handful of us over here." Like, take him to Losai Byoing. His wife that's the downtown hospital. His wife is in the hospital. And I was like, "Okay." So I took him to the hospital. And when we get there, we were doing PT. I think we were playing volleyball out at the park as a department or division. And so I run him to the hospital. We're still in PT gear. I kind of walk in behind him. They told us where her room was, and we show up at a room. And Raj walks in, and she's got bandages on her one wrist. She had tried to kill herself. She had tried to self-delete. And Raj, this is the depths of how bad of a person he was. Walks in and looks at her and says out loud in front of everyone around, including myself, he says, "Damn, bitch, you can't do a fucking thing right, can you?" And walked out. He walked out and did not come back. He was waiting in the car. Yeah. You can get UCMJ'd for having sex with somebody else's wife. But I got news for you. Back then, because I was a horrible person too, I looked at married chicks like that's one-on-one. every other chick at the bar, that's 20v1. I only got to fight against one dude. Those guys, they're fighting against the other 20 dudes in the bar. Married chicks, unhappy, their husband's on deployment. They hang out at the bar. You can pick them out of a lineup. Yes, I'm a horrible fucking person. I know. What is this? A guy in my division of 2 people had 2 boat booze every time we went underway. And now his Facebook posts are about being faithful and he can't find a good girl. Never had a problem cheating on a girlfriend. And I met my wife and I was out one night with another girl. I met my wife. I had a girlfriend. And then I was out one night with a third girl. And I thought to myself, I didn't think, I'd actually broke up with my girlfriend. I didn't think about the fact I was out with the girl I was out with. All I could think was, I wonder what my wife is doing. And then right there, I was like, okay, that's it. Game over. And I asked her to marry me. And that was 21 years ago. This guy was married, not cheating on a girlfriend. Yeah, I would never cheat. I would never cheat on a wife. I would cheat on a girlfriend. But when I was single, trust me with your life, but not your money or your wife. That's about the end of it right there. I would 8 to 80, blind, crippled, crazy. You can't walk, I'll carry you. I would fuck anything that moved. I'd go to people's houses. The fish would stop swimming. That's an Eddie Murphy. If some of you are too young to know that skit. EDC Lace. It too looks like it looks like 2 just left a mark. I don't think it's scratched, but you can totally tell where the tool was. Oh, tool. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and then so he had several girlfriends out in town. Now, I'm not okay, I will tell you, his wife that tried to kill herself, she was not an angel by any long stretch of the imagination. I saw her at the base bar a bunch of times. When Raj was off doing Raj things or Raj was on duty. So I know that she was no saint. And I do know for a fact she ran up a $18,000 phone bill on his credit card. The calling cards, the AT&T calling card. He had one that was a credit card. $18,000 calling her sister from Japan, calling her sister in Sweden from Japan. So, I mean, they neither one were saints, but he was just a fucking garbage human. He really was. So she'd be almost empty. It's almost time. I've had more beer than I usually drink. I've had 3 tonight. My face is kind of red. So anybody got anything else? I don't want to tell too many stories. I might, I'm sure that these people are like, I'm sure that I have some of my friends from back in the day and they're like, shut the fuck up. My family might watch this. We had a dude named Barker. That was on the U.S. Navy wrestling team, was an alternate for the Olympics. And he would come in and he was my first supervisor. He made me tough. Like, he would come in, he was ruthless. But the thing was, I needed that. Everybody needed that. You needed that. Like, I would never have been able to be the boss if he had not been my boss. I would have never been as effective. You got to be fucking hard. And he was hard, but he loved us. He really did. And we stayed in touch for years. But he was a wrestler. And he was a top tier wrestler. Like, Paulo was like, I was like, Paulo, would you wrestle Barker? And he looked at me and he goes, don't tell anyone, but no, he'd fuck me up. And I was like, really? And he goes, oh yeah. Oh, we bought Paulo. Do you guys remember the Samoan twins from the WWF when it was before the Pandas took it? You remember they had dolls that were these Samoans, the Samoan twin wrestlers. And we brought those back to him one time. We went to Toys R Us in Hong Kong and brought him back. And he woke up and we brought him to him on the ship. He never stayed in a hotel. He always stayed on the ship. He never spent any money. And so we brought him back these action figures of the Samoan twin wrestlers. And he opens them up and he's playing them. And he's like, ha, 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 ha. He's playing, and then he pulled the heads off of them and threw them down the steps into the berthing below us. And I was like, what the fuck? We bought him a train set because he was from an island named Pongo Pongo, spelled Pago, Pago. And I was like, Paulo, you're from Pago Pago? He's like, no, it's Pongo Pongo. And I was like, but it's Pago. He's like, don't make fun of my home. And I'm like, whatever, bro. You want to throw an N in there? You're too goddamn big to argue with. Hey, there's an N in there. I was like, so what are things like on Pongo Pongo? He's like, there are no trains on Pongo Pongo. I was like, Paulo, where'd you learn English? He's like, cartoons. And I'm like, shows. I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. We're on the same frequency. We bought him a train set. I've never seen anyone so happy. He's like, it was like an actual train set. And he pulled the engine out of it and he held it like it was a baby. He goes, I have my own train. And I was like, oh my God. What the fuck? He was literally like we had bought him the best thing ever. He was like, he honestly was like cradling the engine going, I have my own train. And I was like, yeah, because there's no trains on Pongo Pongo. He goes, I know. I told you that. I was like, he was like, when it came to like the mechanics of doing things, he was brilliant. Like he would take apart the 25mm Bushmaster cannon. It's a chain drive gun. He taught me how to do it. Like he could take it apart and put it together. And if something went wrong, if somebody else did it, he could listen to it. He would walk up. Like if somebody put the gun together wrong and it was malfunctioning, he was like, Paulo, it's not cycling. He's like, you put the lead link wrong place. It went too far. And I'm like, I want that. I want you to teach me that. And he did. He was brilliant on those things. 3-inch 50 feed jack and gearbox. Just amazing at the mechanics of things. But if you talk to him, you would have thought he got hit. You would have like, he's got oatmeal upstairs. Like he's been hit in the head with a fucking bat. So 3 hours, guys, 3 hours. But like I said, it's kind of special. It's kind of special because let's see. Can I do the fireworks again? Fireworks. We're above 10,000. So, well, I'm almost done with this. Paying member. What time is it? Oh, hell, it's almost midnight. I'm probably going to end this, guys. I may put a little bit of a fight on for the paying members and get these lights and stuff broke down and set up for charging, because the whole thing with the discipline, like I said, I don't have as many videos in the chamber as I want. I want to start getting ahead. I want to have Saturday content. I want to start doing I want to start doing members only stuff that I've been overlooking, members only live feeds. And if I can get enough stuff done to where I'm putting out enough content that I have it in this, I'm just hoping I don't get sick again. Last time I was far ahead, I wound up in a hospital and there was really no lapse in anything. Yeah, remind me, I'll tell you the story sometime about the time I punched a chief, which is why I didn't make chief. I was perfectly fine with it. I was absolutely fine with it. He was a piece of shit, and he had it fucking coming. And he fucking wound up looking like a little fucking bitch. You have a few friends like, dude, Paulo was amazing. Like, I feel so bad. Like, they took him back to the time that he was dancing with that poor girl, and she was terrified. But he liked her. Like, he really liked her. You could see that he really liked her. He just didn't know how to interact with females of the human kind. I don't know what the deal was. He absolutely did not have any social skills to talk to a female. But that time they because they took him back. They took him back and they made him sleep it off in the cage. And I was like, come on, guys, he didn't hurt anything. Like somebody jumped the gun and called security. And Bird was like, yeah, but like obviously she's scared. They called, we got to do something, or the manager's gonna be upset. And I was like, bro, come on, Bird. You know fucking Paulo. He's not doing anything. He's not hurting anything. He's like, I know, but like at least this way he's going back and he's not gonna fucking tear somebody's face off. Wasn't my rating? I was a gunner's mate. I did shipboard artillery for all but, well, until I went to expeditionary combat. But so at any rate, I have a story about Bird. So Bird was on the ship when I first got there. Him and Prohaska and a bunch of other guys. I got to know these guys really well. And so Bird went to security. Bird went to another ship, and then Bird went to security. And so I was on my second ship, and Bird was still at security. Like he was at security while I was on the. Actually, no, he went to security for 3 years. Yeah. So he went, and then I was on my second ship. He was still at security. That's what it was. He didn't go to another ship. He went straight to security. So anyway, Bird was a 9545 basic law enforcement. That's what he was doing. And so I was out on shore patrol. I just made second class. I'm out on shore patrol. I'm hanging out, and they come out to pick us up. And it's spring, summertime, so we're in our dress whites, which is a really slippery uniform. It's polyester. And so I'm out there, and they come by and they pick us up in a paddy wagon to take us back to the boat. And there's a senior chief in there. He was senior shore patrol, and he goes, "It's really slippery. The seats in the paddy wagon have been polished smooth by the asses of numerous drunk sailors." And there's a portal in the back that slides open and it leads back, and there's all these wooden benches and stuff. And we're sitting on these, and the senior chief's like, wow, it's really hard to stay seated on these seats are slippery. And I looked at him, I was like, he's like, these whites are really slippery. And he looked at me, he goes, well, what's up, GM2? And I was like, you think they're slippery? I was just trying to ride in the back of this thing with your hands cuffed behind your back and a puddle of your own vomit. And he looked at me, he's like, what? And the fucking window opened up, and he goes, Bird sticks his head, but he's like, is that Emler? Hey, what's up, man? he's like, yeah, I thought that was you. And fucking senior chief's like, what? And Bird was like, this was like Emler's fucking personal taxi back either to the ship or his house for a lot of years. And I was like, hey, Bird, man, how you doing? I was like, how's Rafter? He goes, oh man, he transferred. These guys, Bird and Rafter, had we called him Rafter Man, like fucking steel Full Metal Jacket. They had this apartment that was really skinny and really long, and they ordered through the exchange system and catalogs a bow and arrow and a target, and they put an archery range, because instead of being like a bedroom and a hallway, and like it moved around and it was like a square, no, it was just one long rectangle, and they just opened all the doors down the main hallway bedroom, and they were all on one side, so it wasn't like it was staggered, so it wasn't short, it was really long. There was a wall and then a hallway, and then all the rooms were spread out the length of the house. So you had entrance, bathroom, kitchen, living room, bedroom, bedroom, back exit. They turned that entire hallway that led the length of that building into a fucking archery range. Their house was the most fun fucking place to hang out on a fucking Friday night. You would go up there and just get wrecked and have just shooting bow and arrow in their in their house. It was great. I'm not gonna lie. The house the wife and I wound up living in for the first year we were married, I had already lived there like 2 or 3 years. We had a 2-story bong. You had to stand on the balcony on a ladder that we had wrapped and tied up to the balcony so it was permanently in place. A big funnel and a hose. We had a 2-story beer bong. It was like that far off the ground. You had to like get under it on your hands and knees. It really was like if you got on your hands and knees, it was just like right at mouth level. It would hold 6 beers before you even got to the funnel. We were idiots. We were fucking idiots. Complete and utter idiots. So, well, guys, I have reached the end of my beer, which means we've reached the end of the feed. It has been 3 hours and 7 minutes. I would like to thank all of you for hanging out and enjoying this and celebrating with me on this evening where I hit 10,000. If I had left it up, we probably would have seen it live, but hey, we saw it anyway. And the fact is, fireworks. Oh, now it's not going to do it. Oh, there it goes. Fireworks. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys all had fun. If you're here and you have not dropped a like yet, absolutely drop a like. And if you want to go back and watch the initial part of the video, by all means, feel free. So I have got to pee a lot. So I will talk to you guys all later. Have fun. Look for a link. I might do fight night. We might watch a fight for a little bit, the paying members, because I've had a lot of caffeine and I'm not ready for bed yet. So if you're a paying member, keep an eye out for that on the Gilded server. Guys, I love you all. I'll talk to you later. Why is it not ending? Why does this always take so long?